Live.
Hey, yeah, we're live. Hooray! Hello, everybody that might be watching us live or may watch this later. This is Jared Rasher. I have the What Do I Know Games and Geekdom blog. This is the What Do I Know About Actual Play series of videos where we play games online for you and only for you because we love you. We love you that much. Currently, we are playing Shadow of the Demon Lord. We are in our 7th session, and this is going to be the end of the expert tier, if you know anything about that system. So we'll be moving on to Master Tier Adventures the next time we get together. So this is going to be kind of the end of a story arc. I'm going to go ahead and throw this to introductions here. So, Ryan, why don't you tell people who you are and who you're playing?
Ryan, I am just a regular person. I'm playing Widow's Cry, who's an elf. He's 850, has had a variety of careers, most recently distracting people while arson was committed at a house full of witches. And yeah, that's what he does. Still trying to figure out his place in the world.
All right. Because, you know, when you're 800, you still don't know quite what you want to be for eternity.
No, not really.
All right, Steve, why don't you introduce yourself and who you are playing?
Yeah, I am playing Abigail Tuller, the semi-reformed prostitute and the witch who decided it was a good idea to burn the other witches in the last session because they were evil. Yeah, they trying to be our healer slash also distraction in other venues other than dealing with the witches because they were evil.
All right. Mr. Hobbs, why don't you tell people about your internet fame and also who you are and who you're playing?
I'm Jason Hobbs of Hobbs and Friends of the OSR, the host, the mastermind. I'm not the everything because really Kevin is the one episode he did, then he's really the everything. No, I'm playing a guy named Kane Smythe, who has recently become a paladin. So I feel like I'm part of the moral compass of this strange group.
All right. And Kevin, why don't you tell people about your internet fame and who you are and who you're playing?
Hi, everyone. My name is Kevin Madison. I am the host of the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel and blog. And I am playing Vigdis Magnuson, who is a Jotun former thrall who has grown into his burgeoning career of ranger slash company meat shield. So that is me.
All right. The first thing I'm going to say is I'm going to give you a blanket fortune.
That's awesome.
Somebody has for the session.
I'm giving it to my bottle of glue.
So everyone has fortune for this session.
Awesome.
Also, our quick recap from last time. Even though Vigdis doesn't know all of this, and we will start off where Vigdis is when we get through the recap. The party traveled to the Span, which is the bridge that goes over Deeping's Gorge that goes to the other parts of the Empire, most specifically to the Holy Kingdom. When they went to the Span, Widow's Cry summoned another elf, handed him the Apocalypticon, which is the big nasty book that killed Teapot, your first party member to die. He gave it to the elf. The elf said he's going to use it to work out a ritual to redirect all of the energy that's going to end the world to Diabolus, which will solve all of your problems because Diabolus having that much power won't be a problem. And then he just disappeared. Boom. And then after that, the party ran into a bugbear out in the wilds as well as a slaughtered farm stud that was ritually arranged. It looks like the Beastmen activity, even though it's been toned down for several decades, is starting to pick up again in the region. Eventually, they found a lodge full of witches that Abigail was invited to join, and Abigail declined their invitation. The witches sent a minotaur after them. The party locked everyone in a house and burned it to the ground.
It wasn't the whole party that was onto that idea.
After that, the party traveled to the Lake of Sighs to find the stranger who was this mythical, magical being that's supposed to be able to answer questions about ancient times and powerful magics. They got to the banks of the lake, and they had a dream where he was prancing through the rocks and along the lakeside, reciting bad poetry and talking about his wife, who the only person in the dream besides the stranger was a deer, so you're not sure what's going on with that. And then all of you woke up with this idea that some kind of trials might be about to start that have to do with the stranger. So that is where the rest of the party is at. You guys, you had that dream, you wake up in the morning, you are completely rested, so you have a night's rest when you wake up. Vigdis, you have been tracking Abby across the claims, which is the area of the province that basically where they repelled all the beastmen and started farming. So there's farms, there's wilderness, there's farms. It goes pretty much like that. You've been going across the land until you get closer and closer to the Lake of Sighs.
Is there farmland there?
Yeah, there's some farmland. I mean, about halfway to the Lake of Sighs, the farmland stops and it's more wild country again.
So I'm picturing this poor farmer working in a field, and you can see this giant, like from across his field, see this giant Jotun running across with all these weapons, and it cuts back to the farmer, and he's looking over, and it cuts back to the Vigdis, and he's even closer, running up towards him, and cuts back to the farmer, and his eyes are getting bigger, and then cuts back to Vigdis, and he goes running up to him and stops and says, "Have you seen Abby?" And this is, "No." Turns and keeps running on.
Well, what's even funnier is that happens. You see that farmer that says no and is terrified of you, and then as you get closer to the edge of civilization, you run across the farmstead that they ran across, where there's like the bodies are no longer strung out in the pattern that they were, but they like gathered all of them up and burned them. So you see this farmstead that's been burned to the ground, and then you
strokes his beard and nods, knowing like, "Ha, closer."
And you see this lodge where there's like a dead minotaur outside and it's been burned to the ground.
Now, does minotaur count as beef or not?
It's half beef.
Half beef? Okay, so only eat a small portion.
Just, like aim towards like the shoulders. That's probably the best cuts there.
All right.
Yeah. Vigdis, you've been tracking this. You see some of the carnage and slaughter that they've run into on the way here. But one night, you have a dream. And as you're in this dream, you see a deer walking up to you. You see yourselves on the bank of this lake. You see this mist rolling in. There's trees all around. You see a campfire, and you see what looks like your party of friends like laying there on the ground sleeping. And this deer walks up to you. And this deer has this very lovely woman's voice. And she goes, "Are you looking for your friends?"
I am.
"They are about to undergo my husband's trials.
Do they need help?
You should probably be there with them. The trials can be very, very dangerous. In fact, I would like you to warn them about how dangerous the trials are before they consent to take them. I would hate to see them die without them realizing what might be in store for them."
Can you help?
"No, but I can take them to you, or take you to them. I could speak in a coherent manner."
No, it's cryptic this way.
It stopped sounding like Mother Bastion.
Then please do.
All right. So when you wake up in the morning, the odd thing is just like every time, like out of your peripheral vision, you will see this deer like bounding, and it gives you the idea of what direction to go to. And then you don't see it for a while, and then you'll kind of see it in your peripheral vision, and it'll kind of lead you. So this last day or two of your journey, you're seeing that deer just like appear every once in a while to nudge you back in a certain direction.
Okay.
So the night that everyone else has their dreams, the rest, when you go back to sleep, we have our wonderful paladin Kane. You see a second dream this night before you awaken, and that is you see this resplendent being in shining armor with big, feathery wings, And he looks at you and goes, "You still have not called on me. You may need my help. You should speak my name aloud in prayer."
Am I supposed to be talking to him, or am I just watching him?
It's up to you. I mean, it's your dream. You have some degree of control here, but
I'm saving it for a rainy day.
just be careful. There are dark times coming, and I do not want you to become lost.
I hope not to be lost. And you kind of freak me out.
I don't know why that would be. By the way, nice call not getting set on fire by Mother Bastion.
Thank you. I wasn't there, though, right?
No.
Okay.
But she had plans for you, and you weren't there. So
Oh, boy.
he seems to be pleased that you didn't fall prey to whatever plans she had.
Are you speaking to me through the... We're looking for the stranger. Do you know anything about him?
The stranger, his source of power is not our source of power. Be careful of his answers and be careful of his trials. You may not be able to fully trust them.
How can we stop the troll song?
It is building. Society is going to reach a certain point at which it will either be stronger than it has ever been or it will completely fall. And whatever happens, you need to be there to lead people by example. There are a number of ways to stop it, but all of them are extremely unlikely.
Who can tell us of these ways? Can you?
I cannot tell you any more than I already have. You have one path laid before you that might be your best option, but it will look like a terrible, terrible option. And you will have to be there to right any wrongs that arise from that option. But this stranger might give you some answers. Just be wary of him.
Any idea why I'm speaking so strangely when I'm in this dream?
No.
No. Are you saying that we should give the power to that bad guy that I can't think of what his name is?
Oh, to the Diabolus? He is the antithesis of everything that we believe in. I am not telling you that that is the course of action you should follow, but I am saying that there might be a course of action that springs from doing that that will be the best option for you.
Oh, boy. You don't really feel very helpful.
Well, just remember, if you call my name aloud in prayer, I might be able to come into this world and do something more directly.
When has that ever gone poorly?
That makes me uncomfortable as well. Can I wake up now?
Yes. So all of you start like waking up from this really weird series of dreams that you had over the course of the night, and all of a sudden, like a deer bounds through the camp, and then, breaking through the underbrush, you see this large man come through, and you recognize Vigdis.
Oh, I thought this was a strange
So it takes a
stranger. You don't look so strange. You look familiar.
So yes, Vigdis, the deer has led you back here. Everyone's awake. What would you guys like to do at this point?
Morning, Vigdis.
Go give Abby a hug.
Abby will return Vigdis's hug.
And then he'll hand her a copper because he's seen that happen before.
Okay, copper.
It's only a hug, so it's not even first base.
Okay.
So Vigdis will enthusiastically tell them about the deer dream and the threat of the stranger, and ask if you've met any strangers.
We haven't met them yet, but we have seen the deer.
I don't know. A Jotun chasing another man's wife who happens to be a deer? That's pretty strange.
Yes, that old chestnut.
That chestnut.
Why does it seem like that would be like some sort of Jotun story, though, about man kissing another man's wife who's a deer? Oldest story in the book.
Totally.
It's cliche.
Oh, man. Also, all of you notice when you wake up that Fringe is gone, but this probably at this point doesn't seem that strange to you.
I'll look around for giant chicken tracks.
Well, she was riding the cart of dogs.
Yeah.
It's all gone, right?
Yes.
Strange we didn't hear that take off during the night.
Well, that grease is very quiet making.
Maybe she was using the her quiet thing, her
Yeah,
chime.
that's true. She's got her little cage thing.
Cage,
So.
quiet, yeah.
And before we forget, Shadow the Demon Lord, definitely an R-rated game.
Oh, yes. Before we get too far into this session, we've already seen a copper paid for a hug. Shadow of the Demon Lord is an adult-oriented game, so we may touch on adult-oriented themes and or language. You have been warned.
Yes.
I need to write a disclaimer and just like tape it to the monitor while I'm running. Say this first. Anyway, so Victus, what exactly do you tell them about what the deer told you?
I tell them that the deer said that her husband, the stranger, so clearly another deer, is going to put us through, or I guess a buck, will put us through trials that will be quite dangerous and that we need to be careful. Did you sign up for these trials too? Is this something the deer didn't elaborate on? Whether these were optional or not?
Whose rumor was the stranger?
Victus.
Victus is.
It was mine, yeah.
He's
I
not
shared that with you guys.
but a hairy guy with really bad poems.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Don't worry. He won't make it into the movie version of this game anyway, so.
He was also married to a deer.
So, do we have any idea when the trials will start? Is it just us hitting stuff?
These things happen in mysterious ways, Victus. I say we wait and see what the deer says.
Although anyone with a magical background could make a test to see if they know anything about this sort of situation.
I will do so. And I rolled a 17 on the die,
Nice.
which would be a 20 total.
All right.
Better than my 12.
But both of you successfully did this. So between the two of you, you can glean that having had that dream last night and the fact that Victus apparently got led here, you have the feeling that this is probably something that once the sun goes down will start if you stay in this area. So if you guys don't want to participate in the trial, you would probably be best to take off now and head away from the banks of the lake.
So at night, the giant light display in the sky will let us know that the Hunger Games are beginning and tell us when to start.
Nice.
Did Victus's food go bad too?
No, Victus's food did not go bad. Everyone else's food went bad while they traveled across country.
After spending a gold on said food, it was very disappointing. I may have to go back and burn that village to the ground.
Although Widow's Cry, oddly enough, is not affected by it going bad. So Widow's Cry has been eating the spoiled food.
Yeah, that's just not.
So
Not
yeah,
at all
Victus, you
healthy.
notice there's like a wagon load of like putrefied, terrible.
Horrid food.
Yeah, given Victus's past experience with this party, that sounds about right. No, kind of nods like,
It wasn't that way when I bought it.
While we're waiting, we might as well fill Victus in on what happened previously if he wishes to hear about it.
And since we're on a lakefront, Abby is going to use her knowledge of the various plants, flora, and fauna to find everybody some food.
There was
Successfully with an 11.
There was a very horny Minotaur who liked humping the ground, and we killed him.
True.
You're welcome.
It just makes no mention of having made burgers out of him. So
Oh man, yeah. So I was gonna say I don't know that the finer details are going to matter to Vigdis, but is that the degree to which you explain what happened? Because I mean, I figure Vigdis would probably just hear that and go, okay. But
did we?
Widow's Cry is not convinced he would like to hear about the banter over meals because he doesn't seem like the banter over meals sort to Widow's Cry.
Were we coming here because we thought the stranger might be able to shed some light on the troll spell?
in theory, if you go through his trials, you can ask some question and have it answered no matter what.
No, we came here because you said there was a guy here who knows secrets. And
Yes.
so we came here because of you, and then you left.
Also, totally in character to lose track of the fact that he was the one.
It's effectively the like Jotun version of Towley. And then Vegas got high and wandered off.
So yes, from everything that you have heard and been able to glean, if you go through these trials, you'll be able to ask questions that are ancient and difficult that no one else knows that the stranger might be able to answer.
Okay. Okay, that's Vegas is good with that.
So Abby prepares everyone food. Everyone eats. They fill Vigdis in on the stuff that Vigdis already told them. And
those who are smarter than Vigdis, do you have any insight as to what we might expect from these trials? If so, we got a day to make. If it's combat-related stuff, we've got a day to make some fortifications.
I don't get the combat feel from the guy, but it's possible.
Vegas's shoulders slump like a sulking child.
But
I do believe
they're possible.
I think it is possible that there could be some kind of combat because I believe it's going to be dangerous.
To be fair, we've shown remarkable aptitude to turn anything into combat.
This is true.
if it's not combat, it will be.
God, I hope that injured guard shows up again. Possibly takes the wrong job.
Well, that's the irony, because you actually had a session where you completely avoided combat, where I expected combat to be the most likely thing, and that's the one time you guys decided, hey, let's just not do anything combat related this time.
Well, big scary golem, and we had very little things that could really affect him.
I had faith in you.
I don't think we get an extra 10% here.
Yeah, you're not really sure what the trials will entail. You just know that there's going to be some sort of dangerous trial that the deer with the really nice voice told you about.
Okay. Vigdis actually kicks himself for not holding the deer hostage now.
Does seem like the prudent course of action now in hindsight.
Yeah, really. Well, if wishes were horses.
Hindsight.
So is there anything specific you guys are doing during the day, or are you going to stay into the evening?
It's a new experience. Widow's Cry is up for it.
Vegas will catch a nap. He's ready for the night.
Abby will prepare spells.
We have the time. Maybe we should build a redoubt or something.
All right.
Honestly, not sure that the trials are going to be held right here.
But are you sure that they're not going to be held right here?
That's a good point.
I mean, it doesn't hurt us to do it, so.
Yeah.
Here is what I will let you do. For each person that wants to come up with some tactical, forward-thinking thing to help them in a potential combat situation, I will let you make a test, and we will basically have a pool of boons that you can pull from. And if you can explain how that preparation would help you, you get to add a boon from that pool of boons to whatever you are doing.
Love it.
So, who would like to make some preparations, and what would you like to explain them as?
This is a bit of a non sequitur, but do any of you guys remember what's the name of when you have the spikes like planted in the ground? There's a name, like it's not ghillie spikes, but it's something like that.
Stakes.
Punji.
Punji, thank you. Yeah. That's what I think Vigdis would like to do.
Okay. That seems wilderness related, and I believe you have some wilderness skills.
I have tracking and I have thrall. So
okay. Maybe not so much that then, but yeah, you can go ahead and make me a test to see if you can properly make some
this I don't think requires a lot of like real acumen. Can I make a strength check for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Total cheapest player move there. Can I use my highest attribute? Okay, that's 16.
You're using your highest attribute to shove sharp wooden things into the ground. So
yeah. Okay, so I got 16, so I succeeded.
All right. So that's going to be one boon in the boon pile. So you just have to explain how that would help you, and if it would in a situation, and you could pull a boon out of the boon pile to add into whatever you're doing.
Nice.
Would anyone else like to do something of that nature?
Widow's Cry is going to go a little bit differently. He's going to use his treasure hunter background and prepare things needed to, makeshift shovels and picks and the like in case we need to do something a little more immediate and find this thing buried here, because who knows what we're going to have to do.
Okay. So you're just like properly arranging tools and getting things ready to, like find hidden areas and stuff like that. Okay. Roll your test.
Yep. Intellect.
Yeah, that sounds proper.
That would be a 17.
All right. So we will add a second boon to the boon pile. Also, once these things are established, if someone else wants to pull a boon from the boon pile that has been established, that's fine. Like, in other words, it's not just Widow's Cry that could use that. That's an established thing that, if you need to use tools to find things that might be hidden, that would be you could do that. Anyone that's making a check. Would anyone else like to attempt to do some sort of preparation this afternoon?
Earthen ramparts.
All right.
So if I as the guard, do I get to use that martial?
Yeah, I mean, because you've been doing like security details for people, so I would imagine that, in your off time, you've been able to discuss and research that type of thing. So, yeah.
Man, too bad I should actually build pits or something around that we can try and knock people into so I can use my old saboteur skills. That's what I'm going to do instead. Can I do that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Little traps around our little clearing.
That is fine.
Just reading the Wikipedia entry for Punji 6, and that sounds pretty close to what you're describing. So,
well, that's perfect then, right? All right. 22.
All right. So, yes, there's another boon in the boon pile. You have various pits and places to drop people into that I'm sure that you took time to point out to everyone so that there's no accidental dropping anyone else in there.
There's a brief scene of Vigdis almost stepping in a pit, and Kane stops him and kind of like shakes his head like, no. Vigdis is like, oh, right.
And he says, grab those punjies and put them in this pit.
And then for Abby, she's going to go, oddly enough, she does not like to be attacked, so she wants to have things to hide behind.
Okay.
I think more like Fringe in this instance. Kind of woven, reed, kind of makeshift walls.
Okay.
Thinking in the line of what if something is attacking at range,
Okay.
so that either she uses her bow or she can use her magic at a couple of different closer areas.
Okay.
Also giving us some cover too.
And also, let me throw that in too. I'll count these too. If someone wants to use them as a bane to your opponent, you can use that as a thing too.
Yay!
Makes sense.
And that is a 13 on the die.
All right.
So 16 total, if it's intellect.
All right. So Abby sets up some various forms of cover around the campsite here. So yeah. So now, anytime somebody wants to use these, either on their turn or before an opponent goes on their turn, tell me that you want to use these. And also, if you can explain that more than one apply, you can pull more than one of these out of here. So there's 4 of them total. So if you wanted to find some way to explain how all 4 of them would affect something to give something a bane, you can throw 4 banes on somebody and blow the whole pool. Not saying you would want to do that. I'm just saying. So yes, so you guys have fortified the general site here. Evening is starting to fall. The sun is starting to go down. Magic folk, give me a test based on your spellcasting attribute.
I'm a magic folk as well.
Yes.
No. Spellcasting attribute must be will.
I got
15.
a 10.
Okay.
Is it will or intellect? And how do I determine this?
What's yours? What do you usually cast with?
I think it's.
I think yours is intellect.
I think yours is intellect because it's you've got like a lot of face spells, don't you?
Yes.
Faith is will, though, isn't it?
No,
Yeah.
Fae.
Oh, Fae. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see if it tells me under magician.
Magician
Sorry.
is intellect generally.
Okay, intellect because that's my primary or my novice class, I guess. So that was a 16.
All right. So the 3 of you get this feeling that the supernatural undercurrent of this area is changing, and in game terms, there is a mechanic that comes up several times, which is basically in certain areas that are kind of supernaturally charged or a region of very bad luck or something like that. If your modified roll is a 0 or lower, something bad will happen. Now, you don't know this in terms of mechanics, but you do have this feeling that something is off about the supernatural underpinnings in this area. So the odds that something terrible could happen, like if something terrible happens, it will cascade into even more terrible things. That's the feeling that you get at this point from the feeling of the natural magics flowing in this region right now.
Is that only from magic stuff or from anything where you were
No,
going to
that's
roll?
anything. It's just probability. If anything is modified to a 0 or lower at this point, then something extra bad will happen on top of you just not making the check.
Okay.
So
Lovely.
just before the sun is finally down, you see very dark clouds rolling in over the lake. You see thunder like dancing through the bottoms of the thing. It's not like hitting the ground. It's just kind of like rippling through the clouds themselves and illuminating the night in a very eerie way. The sky is this odd kind of purple. And about this time, the sun finally goes down and it just opens up. It's pouring down rain now. Anything that you attempt to do that requires perception or physical movement or anything of that nature, you're going to be suffering a bane at this point because of the pounding, driving rain. And anything that is not directly engaged with you, you're going to take 2 banes because it's hard to see past, because of the darkness and the rain and everything. So if you're engaged to something, you have 1 bane. If you're at a distance from something, you have 2 banes. And the storm like blows up. The wind is driving. What are you guys doing at this point? You are almost immediately soaked to the bone from all of this rain.
Oh, fun.
Guess I'll just keep watch still. I'm just waiting to see when one of the first of these challenges comes. Unless
Okay.
this is the first one, in which case, well, yeah.
It's rain.
Yeah. Yes.
You guys are wet. You fail.
I put up an umbrella. You have failed.
Yeah.
You have failed the stranger's task.
I
I'm actually going,
Holds her hat.
That's true. That's true. Abigail is well suited to this because she's got a big hat.
Although she
Kate-
does prepare her magic wand.
Okay.
Widow's Cry is gonna,
Kane will whack his. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
he's
Widow's
just
Cry.
gonna
Go
go
ahead.
sit under the cart.
Okay. So Widow's Cry sitting under the cart. And what is Kane doing?
Kane is actually he's going to whack his sword on his shield because he's all ready for battle here, and then
Okay.
he's going to close his eyes and attempt to sense his enemies.
All right.
So for 1 minute, no creature within medium range can hide from you, and your attack rolls against creatures within medium range ignore the effects of obscurement.
Nice. So you do not have to worry about that Bane at this point.
Either of them, yeah. So, the movement, I guess I do. Sorry.
You get you get the feeling like at the banks of the lake, which you guys were very close to, that there is something lurking just under the waves. And since you can sense this thing now, there's kind of this undercurrent that it kind of knows that, it's not going to sneak up on you now. And coming up out of the water, there is a being that's slightly larger than Vigdis, and it is made of basically like slimy plants and algae and roots and all sorts of like dredged up things from the bottom of the lake. And it's just this big I was about to say shambling mound, but there's not a trademark behind it because it's not actually a shambling mound. It's just something that is a mound of shambling items that would come from a lake bottom. So so this huge mound of like plants and dirt and roots just starts lumbering up on the shore, moving towards you guys. And actually, I'm going to say, since Kane was already sensing it, before we actually start formal combat, Kane, if you would like to move up and engage it, you may do so.
Yeah, I'll let it yell and I'll say it's a kelp creature over here, and I will engage it. But I get a Bane to move. Is that because I moved? Right.
No.
All right. So let's see if I can remember how to do this. All right, so I get a 120. Let me see. Weapon training is a boon. Sword. All right, so I think I get one boon. All right. Oh, I rolled a 20, so I got a 24.
Nice. Good way to
This
open the
time I roll
combat.
like a beast. Yeah, this is awesome. All right, so do I think that this creature is a fairy spirit or undead?
It doesn't seem to be. It's
No? Wow, okay. All right, so I get 1, 2, 3. All right.
There is a Fae behind you.
Yeah.
All right, so I basically get 3 boons for damage. Oh, plus my these
Nice.
aren't boons, I guess. Damage. So I actually get 46 without doing I didn't use the faith thing yet. So 11, 15 plus 2 is 17 points.
All right. So you hack into the planty swamped body here, and you hack off a bunch of limbs, and a big splattering of algae just like shoots across the camp, and the thing staggers back for a moment because you hit it so hard. So now all of the rest of you saw Kane just like dive towards the lake bed and attack this thing. the lake bed is one area, the camp is another area. So for right now, if you guys spread out, there'll be more than one area. But yeah, there's the lake bed and the camp. So everyone is one area away except the Kane, and Kane is right at the lake bed in that area. So we will go ahead and start.
Okay.
And
So this thing is one one move away, right?
yes.
Yeah. For one zone. Okay.
So
I'm going to take
if
a,
anyone would like to
slow
take a
turn.
fast turn, may do so.
Yeah, I'll take a slow turn.
Okay.
And I'm assuming I can't attack again. I was basically like an immediate turn or something, right?
No, you got that because you knew it was coming. So you can.
Oh, okay.
This is now formalized rounds, so you may.
All right, so I'll take a fast turn. I'll attack this thing again.
All right.
Oop, that's a 15, 20. Exactly a 20 this time.
Nice. A 20 does hit its defense.
Good. That's 4 dice again. 7, 11, 13, 15.
Nice. So yet more splattering plant-like goo shoots out of the thing as he strikes it again. All right. So is anyone else going to take a fast turn with it being one area away? Which, if you use range, will mean you are at 2 Banes.
Nope.
Nope.
All right. So on its fast turn then, since it's already engaged with him, it is going to attack your paladin friend with its big planty claws. And it gets 1 boon. Wow, I am terrible at rolling dice. There's a 17 hit Kane.
Yes.
He gets massive bonuses. I'm terrible at rolling dice, but he gets massive bonuses.
Well, he is just kind of enveloping you almost with kelp. So
Yeah. All right, so that is 9 points of damage as the big swampy fist that also has, some roots in there slams down on you. So that's its turn. Who would like to take their fast turn or their slow turns now?
I would.
All right.
So Vigdis kind of belts out a laugh that hopefully is heard over the sound of the thunder. And then he cries out his battle cry of dibs and runs in, which will be, let's see here. Do I have to spend an action to do this?
What's that?
I gotta use a triggered action to name this thing my prey.
Okay.
So, and then I will charge in and try and beam this thing. So I get 1 boon from my hunting prey, and I get a bane from the ambient conditions. So I'm rolling just naked dice. Let's see here. Hey, does a 16 hit him?
A 16 does not.
What the what? Fix.
dirty bastard.
All right, so apparently it was a little slippery down by the shore. So,
Thing just comes charging in, and it's like completely this glorious swing, and the thing just kind of like throws the thing off to the side with its big planty arm. All right,
Oh.
so that was Vigdis's slow turn. Who else would like to take their slow turn?
Does
Go for it,
cry?
Abby.
I'm thinking because this is a creature that I'm not suited to fight.
As Vigdis has proven to you, this thing seems like it's a little difficult to hit. Kane was making it look easy there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes you
Kane
feel
is-
better. Apparently, Vegas isn't too good at fighting it either.
I know.
I'll go. Sure. Widow's Cry is going to cast Bewilder.
All right.
Position slightly behind him, or the plant thing, in order to not hit his two teammates there. It must make a will save, or a will challenge roll, excuse me. Does it have any insanity?
No.
Because if it does, then it's rolling at 2 banes.
It does not. Oddly, the plant is very, very psychological.
Actually, it's going to roll a Bane because it got staggered by the blow from our paladin friend and stepped onto some of the spikes and is unhappy and not focusing its full will.
Okay. All right. So that brings its total down to 2.
Excellent. Okay, so on a failure, it becomes confused for 1 minute. It must make a fast turn and roll a d6 to see what it does. The chart's on page 20 of Terrible Beauty. I've got it up if you need it.
Hey, I have a physical copy. Page 20. Okay, so
The chart is entitled Bewilder Effects, appropriately enough.
Wow.
That's an awesome spell.
okay,
I figured it was a better option than me trying to shoot it with my bow, which would take at least 3 rounds before I start shooting.
all right. So I know what it's going to do on its next turn, and I'll let you know when it gets to take its next turn. Okay. So that was Widow's Cry. Abigail.
Abigail is going to cast Magic Acorns
Okay.
and close into that area, but that's really all she can do at this point.
Okay.
Um,
So you cast a spell and move up to the lake bed.
yeah, and she's going to stay out of melee if she just to be safe.
Okay. So
Hey, I have a question.
same area, but not engaged.
Do we all have to make a roll because of the bewilder?
He
Because you
cast,
set it behind him or something?
yeah,
Because on
Yes,
page
right.
19 it says each living creature in the area must make a will challenge roll. I was
It's
just
a-
curious.
It's a 2-yard circle, so I put
Okay.
it behind him to only hit him.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's why he placed it behind him, so it just
Good.
it's him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice. Good work.
Well, it's handy because with the lake being behind him, he could do that and not have to worry about anybody having been there.
And there's some very confused fish.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. The fish just are doing weird things right now. All right.
Hanging
they're
in his
breathing
body.
air.
well, I want to see a fish claw itself personally. I think that would be an interesting thing to see.
Mhm.
But
All right. So now it is the end of turn, and this creature has an end of turn move.
Nice.
Is it to surrender? We accept.
So everyone in the same area with it. A bunch of flowers open up on it,
Oh boy.
and this gooey sort of mist kind of starts drifting off of it. So everyone, it creates obscurement, but that doesn't matter because you can't. It's not double obscuring this area. So, and on top of that, everyone make a strength challenge roll.
Hey,
That's-
now you're talking.
that's just in that area, not Widow's Cry in the cart 1 area away.
Right. Yes, you're an area away. It's just people that are in the same area as it.
14, yay!
Nice.
On the die.
23.
That's a 13 for me.
I
And-
failed.
Oh no. Well, I guess it's the law of averages because Kane walloped this thing twice.
Yes. No kidding. I've been
So-
rolling great.
Kane, you are now impaired, but only for 1 round. So at the end of its next turn,
Okay. It's not a disease or a poison, right?
no.
Okay. So I'm just like a sticky goo or something like that.
Yeah, it's
Wonderful.
basically part of it is it's whether you are allergic or not, you're reacting as if you were very allergic to this plant.
Oh, okay.
Quick, get your EpiPen.
Don't worry, Kane. Let me go first with a fast
So
turn.
yeah, basically you just have a bane until the end of its next turn.
Okay.
Don't worry, Kane. Let me go first.
Okay, I hear you, my man.
Okay.
I
Oh, that
I
is
just feel like it spooed on me, so it's like we can't get through a combat without something spooing on someone.
That does seem to be a theme.
Usually it's my fault that happens. Normally the
That's
creature
what I'm
doesn't
saying.
do that on its own, but this is a plant. I can't do anything about plants.
Even the plants spew in this thing. Oh my
I don't know.
goodness.
Plants are really into sex.
This is a good point.
They are asexual. No, I'm just-
Mm.
All right. So, second round, who would like to take a fast turn?
Abby,
Okay.
Kieran Kane. Removed the impaired condition.
Nice.
Nice.
You really want him to keep hitting, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Widow's Cry will spend a 0 level to do the whole chart or binding his bow to him. And
Okay.
then continue to hang out under the cart where it's dry.
All right. So you whisper lovingly to your bow and stroke it, and now it's very close to you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Would anyone else like to take a fast turn?
Kane will.
All right.
Oh, I only got a 7.
No, that does not hit it.
That's garbage.
You hit the big soggy part of it and don't really seem to do much damage to it. Would anyone else like to take a fast turn?
Yes, please. Vigus will, try and get his footing on this muddy terrain and roll the same thing. God damn it. 16.
You do not. Once again, you hit like the big, marshy part of its body that doesn't seem to do a lot of damage, and it just kind of like goes flork, and it doesn't do much damage.
He's screaming some things in Trollish that are best left untranslated.
So, on the plant's fast turn,
I do have a triggered action though. I am gonna make this thing attack me or take a bane on attacking anyone else.
that is amusing given its action.
Well, he's the meat shield, right? So
No,
Come get me.
it's just the way this is interacting with what it's about to do.
nice.
All right, so so you call it out, and it looks at you for a minute, and then it's hard to tell from a plant thing's facial expressions, but it kind of sits there for a minute, and it takes its big, long, like rooty hands and starts pounding on itself, but it's distracted by Vigdis, so it's having a harder time hitting itself.
So it takes a bane on attacking itself. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Because it makes an attack on itself.
Well, it's
Because
that's
it's
the one where,
bewildered.
just takes a d6 of damage as a result of the decline itself.
Well, that's true. It says it uses an action. It doesn't say it makes an attack. Okay.
Hmm.
I read it as it makes an attack at first, and that was just kind of amusing.
But it does have to work harder to claw at itself.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very distracted by Vigdis as it's like ripping roots out of itself and throwing them on the ground. So it does 2 points of damage to itself.
Nice.
All right, and the end of round, it ejects the plant goo every round on its end of turn. So first, well, actually, it doesn't matter. Kane's,
What is the range of that? Because I've got reach.
well, it's everything in its area since we're doing areas. So
Yeah, so I don't know how reach works then. Am I still in the same area then?
you could back up to the edge of the other area and do well. Also, you don't need to be engaged to attack things. That's the other benefit when you're using areas.
Oh, okay, yeah. So if I'm not, that makes more sense than being in a separate area and having fucking Reed Richards' arms come out.
So it is ejecting its goo again to all of you.
Okay.
And it doesn't say that you're immune once you've already been, so it still goos everyone.
Well, it's rolled a nat 1 on that, so
Uh-oh.
not only have I been missing, I managed to get myself caught up in all that crap.
So yeah, Vigdis is covered in goo and he's all itchy and sneezy and having a hard time concentrating. So you'll have a bane
He
until
screams out, "Trap! It was a trap!"
Does that that doesn't kick off that bad stuff happens or anything like that, right?
It wasn't below a 1 when it was modified.
Yeah,
was
my
it?
strength is a +5, so
Yeah, no. No, it's only if you're modified to below
same team, Hobbs, same team.
Hey, I just want to make it fair for everyone.
Abby rolls a 6.
Okay, so Abby also has itchy plant goo that's making her sneeze, and her eyes are all red, and she's having a hard time focusing. So you have 1 bane until the end of its next turn.
Yeah. Yay.
And how did Kane do?
I made it this time.
Okay, well, yeah, because you knew what to expect when it gooed. All right, so that is the second round. Who would like to take fast turns on the third round?
Abby, you're
Okay.
Vigdis. This is my last casting of that.
Okay, appreciate it. I'll try not waste it.
Um,
I guess we'll try and brain this thing.
Abby would like to use the prayer with Divine Strike, so Vigdis will end up with a net boon. And
Nice.
if you hit, you do an additional 1d6 damage.
Nice.
All right, I'll try and do Abby proud. And 19, 21, 27,
Good hit.
which means I'm rolling 6d6 for damage then.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, let's see. That's 10, 20, 22 points of damage.
That's
All right,
good.
so 22 points of damage. Vigdis, Abby touches Vigdis, he quits itching and his eyes clear up, and he kind of shakes us off. And tell us how you completely destroyed this plant creature.
This is like the best reactant ad ever. So yeah, Vigdis is still caught up in all this crap. He steps back, and then Abby touches him with her magic. It manifests, and he's able to clearly see this thing through it. And rather than actually just striking this thing, he sort of throws his whole body into it, pushes it forward with his shield, and then brings this sword up through the thing.
Nice. So there's 2 halves of this wet, sticky thing of branches and roots and everything just kind of flop over to the ground and just kind of turn into plant goo on the ground.
And then, as always, he starts stomping around in it, screaming out in Trollish a bunch of victory chants.
All right, so you cut the thing in half. The immediately, as soon as the thing gets cut in half, the wind actually picks up. The rain is driving even harder for a moment, and everyone, give me your choice of an intellect or a will test.
Ooh, I'll pick will,
Intellect.
please. 16.
Ooh, 17.
All right.
18.
13.
Intellect. And 8.
An 8. Really? You had to be the one guy that didn't get this. So the winds swell and the storm clouds start like charging up, and a bolt shoots down from the sky. And Widow's Cry, give me an agility test.
With a boon for being protected by an insulator of the wagon and lots of meat.
Yes, I will give you that.
That would also be an 8, because 2 plus 4 is plus 2. Yep.
Well, the nice thing is you only take 11 points of damage from this lightning bolt going off right near you. So there is this big blinding flash, and your elf kind of looks slightly cooked.
Oh,
He just cries out, "Ah, sorcery!"
The elf is more than half cooked.
ow.
So the rain doesn't stop. It's still driving rain. It's still providing all of the things, but it lessens from what it was doing a minute ago. Like, it really swelled to this insane level of storm for a minute, but now it's kind of gone back to that steady rain that it was doing before. So you guys have a few moments to collect yourselves if you would like to do so.
I'm gonna get because Kane took some damage, right?
Not a lot, but yeah, I took some.
So we'll get Kane and Widow's Cry together, and I will use my Selfless Recovery ability. And each of you will heal equal to your healing rate.
Okay.
Wow, nice.
I will also, on top of that, cast Close Wounds on myself to heal again, so that way I can be down 1 as opposed to 6.
Mm.
I was trying.
Jared, this is a bit of
No, I just got hit really hard.
I understand.
so this is a bit of retroactive stuff, but I just noticed I've got 0 healing potions left. Can I assume that before I set out on the road that I was able to purchase 2?
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't need
Hey,
to use them yet, but
hey, Jared, was that a spell?
No.
Okay, I should have asked that before because I do have spell defense.
Before I go here for a second, I was going to say that Kane, yells into the sweltering rain. Sweltering's not the word. Pounding rain, I guess, would be better. We've passed your test, stranger. Come here and speak with us.
And you hear, because I can't improvise bad poetry on the fly, but you hear like this bad poetry where he's basically saying, a test you passed indeed and crap, but more to come there is because the dawn has not happened.
your line
Great.
meter is all over the place. That test too. Grammar and lightning.
Yeah. I need a bad poetry generator that is relevant to the current discussion.
You thinking that it's over is just a trap.
Yes.
That's not a good sign. Oh dear. All right, so I've got one more thing that I can use for helping people with combat here. That's my guidance ability. So hopefully we don't have more combat coming. Okay, we do. I know this group.
Is anyone else hurt? Vigdis is hale and hearty.
He can take quite a few hits.
Yeah, how is
I'm
Kate?
not super hurt anymore.
Yeah, this is not a fun not fun for the swamp thing.
I was trying really hard not to describe it as either swamp thing or man thing. But but so yeah, you actually the driving rain keeps up, the storm keeps happening, and the bad poetry has clued you in that the trial isn't over.
Yep.
But nothing happens for at least an hour. So you guys are still here. You guys can still do some things if you're planning on it. But it's just the rain is like pouring down, and it's almost like you're getting this feeling of dread, waiting for when the next trial is about to start.
The test of anticipation.
Staying under the cart where it's mostly dry.
Yep. Abby will find some tree cover.
Doesn't
Where
really bother Vigdis, so he's good with standing in the rain.
Well, the tree guy definitely has to be under a cart
Yeah.
that's slightly charred with charred spoiled meat in it.
It is kind of funny that the tree guy is the one that got struck by lightning. But
Yeah. Vigdis seems to remember some like folklore that he learned of not standing near the tree guy in a thunderstorm, so
yes,
he's keeping a distance from him.
well-known folklore there.
Well, he thinks back to Kane's sage words from earlier saying, I say we wait and see what the deer says. So he'll just keep waiting to see the deer again.
Oh, man. So I am going to say, since you guys are all like out here in this rain and waiting for this next trial, and it's just wearing on your nerves when this is going to happen, you know it's not over yet. The storm is unnaturally driving. All of this is happening. Everyone, give me a will test.
You know what? I'm actually going to, in keeping with what is next, or what he's been building towards, once there's a, it's evident that there's not an immediate threat, and he's seeing that his companions are a little wigged out by this storm. Vigdis starts singing an old Jotun war chant.
Nice.
Kind of like, and it's the kind of thing where like it's like a round style song I'm picturing it, and then like when the thunder crashes, everyone kind of like, hey, like cheers up, and the kind of thing that you sing on like in the middle of a storm on a longship.
All right. So Vigdis, I'm not going to give you a benefit for this, but everyone else will get a boon for you thinking of this.
Cool.
I rolled a 20 on the dice, so
What's that now?
I rolled a 20 on the die.
Nice.
So the boon's not going to help me, but I'll take that boon, and 21 on the dice. So 24 total or 22, excuse me, on the
With my -1 will, I'm at an 18.
Wow.
Nice. I rolled a nat 18, so I'm good.
All right. So, and we'll catch Kane when he gets back, but yeah. So your nerves started to get frazzled, but oddly enough, Vigdis helped to steady your nerves by singing this rousing song, even though you probably don't know half the words in Trollish that he started throwing in there.
With Jotun songs, it's really more just effort than it is actually competence at singing it. So,
Bergen Hüstingberg.
Exactly. It's the Swedish Chef.
it's the Swedish Chef song.
Oh man! All right, so it actually wears on into about like 2 hours worth of time just waiting for the storm to abate, and it doesn't get any better, and it's still driving rain. But Vigdis sings through this, and all of you start feeling like this like tingling that comes up your spine. And you can feel that there is something about to happen. And the ground in the middle of the camp starts to rumble. And the earth and like some of the rocks underneath it just start to kind of erupt out of the middle of the ground until there is this basically generally humanoid shaped thing that is larger than that is slightly larger than Vigdis is suddenly in the middle of the camp.
Like a stone thing?
Yeah, it's made out of like rocks and dirt and stone. The plant creature, you really couldn't make out much of a face, but this one, like the rocks arrange themselves so that it's got more of an expressive face to it. And it looks at all of you and goes, I am sorry that you must endure this trial. I am not a malevolent creature, but you have consented to this trial. I will give you one chance to flee now and abandon the answers that you seek here before I pass judgment upon you.
Vigdis tells this thing it has one chance to surrender or it will return as pebbles.
Wow. That sort of trumps Widow's Cry's statement of nothing in this mortal world has any right to judge me.
And Abby's just sitting here going, and I was hoping for a peaceful solution. She's got her hand in her hand on her face and just going, I was hoping for a peaceful trial at this time.
Well, there's nothing not peaceful about saying you can't judge me.
You know, what's really bad is now I'm picturing like t-shirts that I've seen that have like Tupac on them, except with Widow's Cry. Just an odd image to have stuck in my head now, but yeah, that's
lovely.
Is this thing in the same zone as us right now?
Yes, it is in the middle of the camp at this point.
Okay.
It just came up right. That's what you were kind of feeling it gathering itself, and it showed up right in the middle of all of you.
What was the third boon coming from? I know there was one from the sticks, one from the pits. There was one from the cart, and what was the fourth one?
Well, he had stuff like scattered all over the place for like finding hidden stuff. So like tools and picks and
Okay.
Areas marked out where this would be a good place to dig, stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's what you have set up at the moment.
Okay. Does this thing look like it's going to surrender then?
One of the traps is
It does not look like it's going to surrender. It does not answer any of your challenges. It just kind of like sadly shakes its head whenever you address it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to wait for it to make the first hostile move, but as soon as it starts like moves into a hostile posture, Vigdis is going to jump in and try and brain this thing.
Okay.
I would try talking to an Elvish.
All right. What are you going to say?
So, how long have you been stuck in this mortal realm? Because it's clearly rubbing off on you. I'm a little concerned.
So when you say that, it doesn't seem. It seems like it knows how long this trial is supposed to take, so it doesn't mind engaging in a little bit of banter. So yeah, like you definitely get the feeling from it that it's not deciding not to attack, but it has no problem with adding some context when you start talking to it, and it goes, my people are not so much trapped in the mortal realm as part of what helped shape it. We are ancient.
But you know the true tongue.
Well, we know what the fairy like to use to speak to one another, yes.
Right, the true tongue.
we know what the fairy like to speak to each other.
So how did you end up working for this stranger guy?
I wouldn't say that I work for him. There are ancient secrets, and due to various pacts, I help guard those secrets.
So you help a dude married to a deer because he happens to know things.
When you frame things in a negative context, you can make anything sound bad.
Have you heard his poetry? I'm not seeing a positive context here.
It's odd because he doesn't need to breathe and he doesn't have fun, but you feel like there's a sigh that comes out of him, and he goes, "The stranger is a position. He's not the only stranger that has ever been. He has his own quirks that he brings to the job. I fear that the years have been trying on him."
Is he human?
At one time he was.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
You got him monologuing. Keep going.
So, where did your people come from originally?
The fabric of the universe.
Ooh, it's Carl Sagan.
So what is your trial other than judgment?
Well, unfortunately, if you seek answers, you must defeat a primordial being that embodies the secrets of the universe, which would be me or someone like me.
Is that what all of the trials are?
Wasn't the last thing primordial plant matter?
It was, but it was of the world. We are what helped shape the world.
Right.
I could give you a clue about the next trial. I mean, we have several hours before we need to conclude this.
Sure, what's next?
Well, you confronted something that was primordial, but of this world. Now you're confronting something that embodied the elements that created the world. Next, you will have to face something that represents the enormity of existence itself.
Has anyone ever actually passed these trials?
Not that I know of.
Does this guy actually know anything that would make us care to pass these trials? Like, is there actual knowledge to be gained from this regarding the troll spell, or are we just wasting our time?
He does have knowledge that you would gain from this. However, he doesn't have the knowledge himself. He is the gatekeeper of the knowledge.
But is it worthwhile?
Oh, certainly.
Then, if he has knowledge that will help us stop the troll spell, and the troll spell will destroy the world, and you help make the world, isn't it in your best interest for us to go on to the next part of the trial, and for you to be like, yep, sure enough, you win?
So he listens to you for a moment and he goes, I am bound to do as I must for these trials. There are ancient rules and laws, and I'm sure the fairy can understand these traditions that have bound magical beings for millennia. But give me an intellect test versus him.
And this is a social test, yes?
Yes, yes it is.
So I get a boon, because I am an elf. That would be a 13.
All right. So he's very torn on his part here. He cannot stray from testing you, but he is now not as focused on doing it because he is contemplating your words.
Well, as an elf, one thing I can most certainly tell you is for every ancient pact and contract, there are loopholes.
So for now, what you have bargained him into is, first off, he's going to take a bane on anything that he's doing in this combat because he is contemplating while fighting. Second, he's going to kill you last because he wants to come back and have another conversation with you once there aren't all these weird mortal things that don't understand the big picture around.
Seems fair.
So now he is going to, he looks at you and he goes, there are several hours left. I would like to pursue this a bit further, but I must do my part now. I will stop and converse with you again once I have dispatched your mortal allies.
I see.
Please let them know it is not because I bear them any ill will. It is just that I must get my work done, and they aren't likely to understand the full depths of our conversation.
Give me a moment to translate.
So it stops for a second and lets you address your allies here.
All right, so the rock guy here is part of what made the world, and unfortunately we have to beat him and then something that represents things that are the greater parts of existence as a whole. He's going to try to kill you all, then talk to me, and then kill me. I don't particularly like this plan. So, yeah, just to let you know, he's going to start fighting you now.
Okay, Vegas will brain him.
All right, so round one, fast turns.
Okay.
Abby would like to cast Cower on the rock guy.
What does that do?
One creature within medium range make an intellect roll against the target's will. On a success, the target becomes immobilized for 1 minute. While immobilized in this way, it is also frightened. Once per round, when the target takes damage, it may make a will challenge roll removing the immobilized affliction with a success. However, on an attack roll of 20 plus, the target also falls prone and cannot stand up while immobilized in this way.
So maybe I should attack first just so it doesn't get an extra save against it?
Yes, attack first.
Okay, so I'm once again, Vigus is calling out in Trollish, dibs! And, ooh, that's not great. Does a 15 hit?
Yes, it does. No,
Nice.
sorry. No, you missed by one.
Ah, all right.
All right.
Would you like to would you like to call in some of the boons that you have lying around the camp?
I already rolled with one boon. Well, I could get another. Yeah, I'm gonna try and knock it into the punji sticks.
Okay.
As much sticks will go, apparently, like my rock paper scissors would suggest that stone would be more powerful than stick. But let's see here.
Or use-
Yeah. So that boon was 2 higher than the last one, which means it's 2 higher than my roll. So I did hit.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. So damage is not great. Triggered action to isolate it as well too. So it's hitting me, or it's taking a boon or bane rather.
Gotcha.
All right.
All right. So how much damage did you do?
So it was 12 points of damage.
All right. So when you slam into this thing, you notice that you chip some of its mass away, and you did some damage to it. But it seems like it's very resistant to physical attacks, so you didn't hit it quite as hard as you felt like you would have.
Oh, that's not what I want.
Language. I don't have much else to bring to the table here. So
I mean, you damaged it, but yeah, for that swing, it should have done more to it, and you just kind of chipped a little bit off. So, in fact, it probably took more damage from the stick coming up through its torso, and then it kind of reforms around where the stick came through.
feels that all the way down now too.
So yes, 2 more boons left that you guys can call on.
All right. Let's see if I can get this thing to work. All right. Red die, don't fail me now. Ha! Ha! All right. Intellect 18, 19, 20, 21. So yay, he falls prone. If he's subject to this and 21 beats his will.
So, I hate to say this, but you didn't have any prior thing here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, it's
unfortunately, your
it
spell
doesn't
hits it and takes full effect, and then you realize that it is immune to being immobilized, prone.
yep.
What else does your
That was it.
yeah, it is immune to both of those conditions.
Oh, hey, you know what? That's okay.
I get the feeling though, since the spell went off successfully, what actually happened was it like fell and then it like reformed standing up. So like you could tell that the spell would have affected it, except that it can't affect it.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
We're fighting things from Galaxy Quest.
We are.
Maybe you should try to make the rock harder.
This is not good.
So that was Abigail and Vigdis. Does Widow's Cry want to do anything? Now it's not going to attack you until the end of
Yeah. Fast action, casting misdirect.
all right.
I make an int roll against his perception. On success, that makes attack rolls with 1 bane while within short range of me, which since we're all in the same zone, right?
Yep.
In the middle of camp and all. Yeah, that's kind of what I got.
All right.
So we'll see how it goes. 10.
That actually hits its perception if that was your target number.
Nice.
Wow, awesome. So he doesn't become impaired, which I don't think he could be anyway at this point for a roll 20 plus, but he attacks with banes for 1 minute.
All right. So now he has an additional bane on top of the bane for being distracted while thinking on the philosophical questions posed by the elf. So he has multiple banes now. Also, everyone remember, you still have fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's gonna be a thing here soon.
Okay, so he's okay. He's gonna do that. He's going to attack Vigdis now.
Come on.
Right next to Vigdis. Vigdis is. Thankfully, Vigdis isn't an object because he would do more.
That is, yeah. I think there's a sexual harassment joke to be made there, but it's just escaping me right now.
Does a 22 hit Vigdis?
A 22 does in fact hit Vigdis, yes. You got a 22 with 2 Banes? Shit.
Yeah. Well, he has a net of 1 Bane because you are standing on the earth.
Yeah, I imagine. Well, yeah, where else? Happy to take any other options.
Widow's Cry will point above him. There's a cart.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I thought you pointed to the sky. I'm like, I'm not sure what I can do with that Widow's Cry.
Wow. You know all those times that I rolled bad?
Yep. Made up for it now?
This is the opposite of that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the plant guy.
28 points of damage to Vigdis.
Sorry, how much?
28.
28. Okay, so I am bloodied.
You feel as if like a large, massive stone the same size as you just hit you because it did.
Yeah.
I totally should have saved that Bewildered. I thought the plant guy was going to be tougher than he was.
The plant guy just had a really high defense, as opposed to this guy that's just like a insane tank.
So I'm down to 23 from 51 now.
Ow.
Ouch, indeed. Okay.
To be fair, I'd be at -8 if I was at full health. So,
Yeah. Oh, on the plus side, I'm going to use one of my healing things, and that gives me a bunch of bonuses. So
I am going to, since Jason is slightly indisposed at the moment, until he gets back, I will let you guys vote amongst yourself who gets to take a second turn because I don't want to handicap you against this thing in particular.
Oh, yeah.
So amongst you, who would like to get an extra turn?
Does anyone have any particularly useful spells to use against this thing? If not, Vigdis is happy to try and brain it again.
not that's going to make much of a difference at this point.
I'm going to end up grabbing a tool on my turn. I'm going to end up taking a slow turn.
Okay.
So but Vigdis braining it would be a good thing.
Okay.
Yes.
So then I'm using for the second action, then I'll use a triggered action to use my catch my breath to heal.
All right.
I'm up to 35 now, which then triggers my Blood of Giants, which gives me a boon on all strength rolls.
Rawr.
So let me try and brain this guy. Let's see. That's 21 hit him.
A 21 does hit him.
Is that more than 5 over his defense?
It is.
Ah, I love it. So doing 5 damage then. And let's see. With my Titan strength. Oh, you said this thing can't fall prone, right?
Right.
That's a shame. Alrighty. Oh, ones. Why are you cursing me with ones? All right, 5. So I do 11 points of damage.
All right.
Can Fortune reroll damage rolls?
I don't remember.
I actually don't know. Good call, though.
Fortune does magical things.
I actually copied the rules. Let's see.
I can. Yeah, really, all I can do, I can replace one die with a 6 on it. So yeah, it's not really that much of a benefit.
Okay. All right. So once again, you heave this titanic attack into the thing and you slam into it, and you feel like you could have staggered any worthy opponent that was mortal with it, and you chip off a little bit of it, and it is slightly damaged and inconvenienced by your blow.
Ouch.
All right. So that is round 1, and at the end of its turn, there is an end of round move that it has.
Hold up. No, it's not.
What?
There's 2 of us who haven't gone yet this turn. All right.
No, that was the
Oh,
bonus
sorry.
turn. Bonus move.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. I lost track of where the bonus was.
Yeah. This is Vigdis is just the part of Kane is being played by Vigdis this round. So,
Gotcha.
so on this turn, at the end of round, every creature that is not a genie must make an agility test with 1 Bane.
Did I forget to mention I took a level in Genie?
Okay.
So, agility check. Let's see here. Yep, I passed. I got a 17.
All right.
What's the test against?
That's just an agility test, so it's the default 10.
Well, no. Is it a spell? Is it a?
No, it's just its natural ability. It is not a spell.
-2.
Ooh, -2.
No.
Oh, I am very, very sorry.
Hold on.
Fortune.
Using my fortune to make. Well, no, because that would just make that verse take. If I made it the Bane of 6, that would just take me down to a -5.
You
Yeah.
can spend a fortune to turn a failure into a success, though.
Yeah.
Then we'll do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing the same thing with my D20 roll because I rolled a 2 and I rolled a 3 on my Bane. So
Ugh.
yeah,
This would be a good time to use that fortune, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have no fortune. Actually, I had 2 fortune because you gave us 1.
Well, yeah, you either have.
So you can have fortune or not. So yeah.
So yeah. Nobody is prone from the earth shaking under you because it is one with the earth, which is good.
All right.
And that would have been even worse because you would have fallen prone and the bad luck or of the area would have hit you, which would have been terrible. So that is the end of the first round. Now we're going to do fast turns for round 2. Who would like to take a fast turn?
Low.
Yeah, I think Vegas would.
Okay.
And you guys are on slow?
Yeah.
Okay, so Vegas, he still needs the benefit of that Blood of Giants. So let's see if I can make this count. I got a 19.
All right. So with a 19, you definitely hit it.
Okay, so do 4.
Hold on.
Yep.
I'm going to use my guidance to give you 2 boons to that. So you get that. So you can get that 2 boons. So you can get 5
Yeah, let
over
me see.
for sure.
See if I can do better on that. 19. So no, unfortunately, it's about the same. So still 19. It would have been 19 again too. Thank you for that.
Adding the 2. Oh.
Oh yeah, I was already rolling 1 boon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if I rolled a 6, that would have been great, but I did not.
Rats.
Let's see here. Damage. Oh, that's ass again. 11 points of damage.
I tried.
All right.
Yeah,
So
much appreciated.
you like solidly hit it, and it's like basically you are chipping away at a stone wall with your with your weapon here. You'll probably make through eventually if you don't die, but it just is not very fast going. So it is damaged, but not much. Okay, so the rest of you are going to take slow turns.
Yes.
Okay. Basically, I'll wait and see if Jason makes it back, but if he doesn't, then when you would normally get a slow turn, I'll give Vigdis your second shot at taking a turn.
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, I think unfortunately though, it's right engaged to you, and you're basically the primary immortal threat at the moment, so it's going to take a swing at you.
Hang on.
And you're still standing on the ground. So it is at
I don't think this would know. Like, I don't want to metagame it to hop on something else. So,
well, I mean,
there's been nothing that I've seen that would I think he would get that would be bad.
Well, I mean, after the end of round effect, where you could feel the ground shaking because it's touching it, might have clued you into that. So, I mean, if you want to make an intellect.
Yeah, sure. I'll make an intellect check and I'll let the dice decide. I got -1 to this. I rolled 10.
Yeah, you might get the feeling that since it is attuned to the ground and can make the earth shake, it would be a good idea to get off the earth.
This thing's a lot bigger than me, right?
It's
Like,
not a
mechanically-
size class larger than you, but it's maybe a few inches bigger and more solid. So it's broader and taller, but it's still the same size class technically.
What do you guys think of me trying to push this thing? Like, it's been raining like pretty hard for quite a while now, right?
Oh, yeah.
I imagine some of those pits that we dug are kind of full of water. Knock this thing into one of those water pits.
It's worth a shot if you can knock it over.
Yeah, because I
Well, I mean, it can't be pushed prone. That's the
can't
problem.
be pushed prone, but it could be pushed into that pit, right? Then it's standing in a bunch of water.
Yeah, you can move.
I mean, if he knocks it backward, it's not going to suddenly.
And I'm sitting on my
That's not
fortune
down.
still. I still have my fortune, so I could guarantee that as a success effectively.
True.
Vegas is probably shouting this out. Any of you magic types have any insight into whether this would be effective against it?
I have no idea. Let me find out.
This reminds me of an old. There's an old
No.
issue of Spider-Man.
15.
There's an old issue of Spider-Man that J. Michael Straczynski wrote where he beat the Shocker. The Shocker had like upgraded all his shit, and he took him out by basically tossing him into a public pool, and all the water kept slamming back into him.
Oh man. So yeah, what did you guys? Were you guys trying to make intellect to see if this sounded like a good idea?
Yeah,
7. No idea.
15.
Okay, Abby. You get the feeling that shoving it into the water would do the same thing as Vigdis standing on the wagon, which is it wouldn't get its boon for attacking someone because the earth is a little diluted around it since it's still standing on the ground, but it's also standing in an equal amount of water, so it loses some of the benefit of that. But other than that, I mean, it might not do anything else, but it would have some effect. It wouldn't harm it, but it wouldn't.
It wouldn't help it. It would make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good
my
idea,
time,
Vigdis.
my time is probably better spent just stepping up and then trying to whack it, which will do more damage than me just shoving it around.
Okay. And
They use your bone. If we don't have Hobbs here, I think that's what you should do with your bonus turn.
Okay. Sorry, is hop on the cart?
No,
Or push him
him into the water,
Okay, we'll do.
because then everybody can benefit from that.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So it's going to attack with its one bane from pondering the deep things in life. So that is a 21.
That does just barely.
Oh,
Dang it!
all right.
Upgrade fleet. Speaking of which,
Hey, only 1/6 this time.
That's still a lot of damage.
20 points of damage to Vigdis.
Vegas is down to 15. Okay.
All right.
All
so
right.
Fast turn, so we're on slow turns now. And if
Okay.
Vigdis, if you want to take your other turn, you can do that.
Do you guys want me to go first, or do you guys want to go first? I'm not fussed. You guys both have slow turns this turn too.
I don't really mind either way.
Go ahead and get that thing in the water.
Sure. Let me try and. Okay, so I get a boon because of. The inclement weather. Does that give me a bane on this kind of check too? Then.
Yeah, because I mean, part of it now is because you're slogging through mud to do this, and you don't have a good footing.
Okay. All right, so I'm just rolling against its strength then, I guess. So I'm going to roll and see if I succeed, and if not, I'll blow my fortune
Okay.
on this. Let's see here. Come on. Fuck you. So a 10, I'm guessing, is not going to do it. So I will...
strength is higher than 10.
Yeah. So fuck you. Blue dice, you go to the fuck off bin. All right. So then I am I was going to spend my fortune to, grit his teeth and slam his shield into it and push this thing back into one of the pits.
Okay. So you shove it back. It falls into the pit that is rapidly filling with water. So now its connection isn't broken with the earth, but it is not as solid a connection as before. So it will lose its bane. And I'm also going to say whenever it does its end of round thing, you all get a boon against that. Because it's just barely, it's not standing directly on the earth. It's just kind of touching the earth.
Yeah, we should have a boon, I think, because of height advantage, too.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's kind of like...
Yeah, because... All right.
So, yes. There you go. So that was Vigdis. Who else would like to take their slow turns now?
All right. Vigdis needs healed. So moderate healing.
Nice. What does that do?
You heal twice your healing rate.
I'll take that.
Yeah, that's happened before.
I think he's surprised by it every time. So I'm up to 39 now. That's awesome. Thank you.
That's it. Remember, it's try to get things where they don't hurt the party and heal the party. That's what Abby does.
Which is much appreciated.
So does Abby have anything else that she's doing?
She's going to pick up a broom from the tool pile.
Okay.
This camp could really use a tidying.
I had a plan, but Vigdis got hurt.
She had like 12% of a plan.
If we had a nickel for every time.
I'm running out of healing spells, Vigdis.
Well, I'm trying to take this guy down.
That does seem like something that is a recurring theme in this friendship. I had a plan, then Vigdis got hurt.
Totally.
Although at the same time, Vigdis pays me every time he hugs me, which is really strange.
Oh man! So Widow's Cry. What would you like to do?
Triggered action to burn a first level or a second level spell for my invest power ability. Move action to get on top of the cart, and actual action to shoot down at the guy. So that's a bane for the weather, a boon for the spellbound weapon, and a boon for the height advantage, which brings me to a total of 1 boon.
Because as Obi-Wan has taught us, you have higher ground.
That would be no, hold on. 7 and 2. That'd be a 9.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have a 3rd level spell to give myself battle prowess, which would actually help me hit him. So that's what I got.
Yes, unfortunately, that is not enough to hit him. His defenses, you hit a solid rock and the arrow shatters. All right, so that's everyone.
Oh, that's 2d6 plus 1 of damage to that rock. Oh, and there's now a glowing spot on top of the cart in a 10-yard radius because my bow is burning with eldritch fire.
Nice. All right, so for his end of turn, everyone gets a boon against the agility test. Widow's Cry, I'm going to give you 2 boons because you aren't standing directly on the ground as well.
Okay. Yes, thank you for that boon. 10. Yeah. I would not have made it without the boon.
16.
23. Because now I can roll out of single digits.
9, 5, and 1. So
no one is prone. This is good. All right. So we will go into the 3rd turn, and whoever would like to take fast turns.
I'm in for fast this round. How about you guys?
I'll go fast.
I am going to go with slow, actually.
Okay.
Does a 16 hit him?
A 16 does hit.
Launching arrows from on top of the cart. Doing 12 points of damage, so one shy of max. Woo!
Nice.
All right.
It doesn't say. It just classifies the empowered as extra damage, so it's not like spell damage or anything,
Right.
as far as I can tell.
Well, it damaged him. I mean, if you would have shot a mortal with that arrow, it probably would have, seriously hindered them. You damaged it. You see rocks fly off of it. It kind of gives you this, hey, I was going to kill you last look, but,
All right. Vegas is going to try and brain this thing again.
Did you get the boon for, stabbing down into its head?
I do. Thank you. So that is a 17.
Okay.
I think
So
that
that hits.
Okay. So we can do more than fucking 12 points of damage. Let's see. And nope, ass again. How about less than 12? Jesus.
Hey, 13 is the max damage I can do.
Yeah, like I could do 24, but I'm sitting at 12 and 11, and I just rolled 7 points of damage. Okay.
So yes, it's easier to stab down into its head, but you accidentally stab actual rocks first before you.
He's progressively getting more and more frustrated.
Wait, is that part of it or not? I can't tell.
Okay, and then I'll use the triggered action again to. Well, is anyone else in melee range?
Well, I mean, theoretically, I could shoot him again, but theoretically, you should be doing more damage than me, so you should probably
You
do
know
it.
what? No, it's metagaming. I was gonna say I can unless this thing's got reach, then I could have knocked it and attacked it at reach.
Yeah, I mean,
It couldn't actually get me. Does this thing have reach?
I was gonna say, actually, I think this thing's.
It's my size. I think it's kind of part and parcel of being a size 2 creature, but
Yeah. Where is that at?
it should be in the stat block, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was, but I'm not seeing it for some reason.
Oh, then maybe it doesn't. Hey, I'd rather be lucky than smart.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I was gonna say that's fine. You may have just shoved it over there and then stabbed it at a distance because you're stabbing down at it from from over there. So you are not engaged with it.
Fuck yes.
So it
I
is.
think that's-
It was going to anyway, but yeah, it definitely has to take a slow turn before it does anything useful this time.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to save my triggered action for when it moves. I'm going to brain it.
All right. And
Or shove it back in the hole. That may be necessary.
Yes. You go nowhere. That's effectively like a genie swirly we're giving them.
all right. Yeah. So we'll do that, and nobody else is taking fast turns.
Nope.
Okay. So then we go to slow turns. Abigail.
Abby has two things she gets to do. She's going to take an action to imbue that broom with the spell of ecstasy so that it can fly. And now she's got a flying broom that she's sitting on.
Real happy one, too.
So now she doesn't have to worry about the earth thing. And she's going to fly a little over Vigdis's head. Since she's really not got a lot of major spells, she will cast Witchfire to attack the lovely rock creature sitting in the water.
All right.
And so, yeah. And I will attack the flying rock creature if I'm allowed to do both of those things.
Sure.
And she rolled an 18 to hit
That hits.
the Witchfire. All right. So sadly, it only does 2d6 damage. So 4 damage. Yay. From
Yeah,
fire.
but it wasn't weapon damage.
This is true. So this is a minute, though, and I'm invisible and flying.
This is like the full realization of what Abby is, though, because she's wearing a pointed hat in the rain, flying on a broomstick.
And
Yeah.
she's using a spell.
Yes.
And I've got an hour of flying here.
You know what? You know, if I were a crueler GM, I could say, you know, Abby's never going to get any more witchy than she is. So, I mean, you've reached the pinnacle of what this character can do.
I have one healing spell left, guys. So I'm trying to hold off on using that spell, but we've got yeah.
Sorry,
So-
I didn't really take direct damage spells.
No, neither did I.
I kind of went more
Would
weapon-based
Victus,
caster.
would
Sorry.
Victus like to take the extra turn now?
Yes, please. So he'll brain this guy, or try to. Gross. Does a 12 hit him?
A 12 does not hit him.
You. Or he's getting a little over anxious.
All right.
Someone has to remind Victus he's hitting the stone on the ground right now.
He keeps like stabbing rocks that are.
Would a better boon potentially help you do that?
No, because I rolled a 2, and then I got a 5 on my boon, and I got unless a 13 would hit him.
Nah.
No, okay, then
Okay, so it's going to take its slow turn. So it's going to start shifting into the wall. So if you have, did you have something that triggered when it moved away?
yes, I'm gonna brain it.
Okay.
Victus, hit the genie. Oh yeah, all right. Hold on. How about a 25?
A 25 hits it.
Nice. Okay, that triggers my Titans whatever.
Titans, whatever.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called right now. So 16 points of damage.
All right. Wow. That was much better.
Yeah. Victus hit harder.
You notice as you slap it hitting into the wall, like it leaves a lot of rocks behind it.
Nice.
So it phases into the wall for its movement, and it comes back up using its Earth Glide. So it is now behind you, but it had to have a move action to be able to move. And now it's going to try and wallop you in the back of the head.
Bring it on.
So now it gets its benefits back because
Mhm.
it's on the ground, but it had to move first. All right. So that is... Does a 19 hit you?
Oh yeah, just barely.
Oh,
No joke. That one just barely hit me.
I thought I was going to miss that time.
Mhm.
Hold on. Yeah, I guess that'd be too late. Never mind.
So that is
How much money did we have from the
23
last
damage.
adventures?
What's that?
How much money did we have from the last adventure?
I do not remember.
I don't remember either.
Hold on.
Well, it's not important for now. I can get it between now and the next one. But so if I could afford a full plate, but it's 50. It would be 50 for my size, so I don't think we got that much.
So yeah, 23 points of damage.
23. I'm down to 16.
Womp.
Dag. Okay.
Okay, so that is the end of round 3 or 4. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Oh, end of round. Everyone make your agility tests. You no longer get the boon because he's on the earth, but Widow's Cry still gets a boon because he's on the wagon.
I'm
Yep.
flying.
Oh yeah, Abby's flying.
Hey Jared.
Yes.
When he came up out of the ground,
Mhm.
he actually came up in the middle of the pile of picks and the like.
Okay.
So now there are picks and the like inside him.
Okay.
So he's going to be at Bane's to attack as the metal grinds against the rocks.
Okay.
Nice.
Seemed like a good use of my tools to find hidden things.
Oh yeah.
That'd be an 11 to not fall over.
All right. So no one is prone, and we start round 4. Who would like to take fast turns?
I will. Let me think here. How badly injured does this thing look?
Basically, it doesn't lose any mass like things normally would, but you notice like lots of rocks are falling off and it's reformed. Like it's trying to keep itself in one piece. So like rocks will fall off and it pulls more rocks to it. So it seems like it's actively concentrating a lot harder to maintain its integrity. Whereas before it was just kind of like a solid stone thing where you didn't have many things falling off. So it definitely is making an effort to keep itself together at the moment.
I guess what I'm thinking, guys, like I can't take another hit like he has been dealing. So I'm wondering whether I should knock him back or try to knock him back in the pit to at least make him waste his round getting out again, or whether I should just try and knock him down.
He is definitely bloodied, wounded, or whatever else you would call that condition. Okay. Depending on what you're talking about.
I would vote for whacking him now and shoving him with the second.
Okay. Yep. The thing is, if he takes a fast turn and he hits me for more than 16, I'm down.
Abby has to take a slow.
Okay, so that means. Fuck it. No,
let me go first and see if he dies. Or
sure.
Where he's at.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's a 17 to hit him with my bow.
17 hits.
And that would be 8 whole points of damage.
8 points and a half for it being weapon damage still causes it to lose its structural integrity and the rocks fall to the ground.
Yay! Thumbs up for Bow Guy.
Yeah, that was not good.
Vigus stomps through the earth and mounds, kicking it around like a kid on a baseball player on a diamond.
Abby will fly down and, knowing that it's probably going to be another couple of hours, she will cast Minor Healing on Vigdis.
Okay.
At this point, 3 times, so that's 1.5 times your healing rate.
Okay.
Total.
That's 18. So that's 26, 34.
I have 1 casting of that left.
I'm going to quaff one of my healing potions as well. So that'll put me up to 46. I'm almost at full now. I'm just 5 down.
Widow's Cry is going to go try to sleep underneath the wagon in hopes of magically getting a full rest out of it before the next trial starts.
Okay. So everyone give me an intellect challenge. Because basically it's really hard in the storm and everything to figure out how much longer the night's going to last. But you guys have a feeling that if you could figure that out, you'd feel much better about at least knowing you don't have more than X amount of time to wait this out.
Yeah. Vigus did not figure it out.
Actually, Abby did. I rolled a 12. 9 + 3.
Okay.
Widow's Cry is trying to sleep.
Okay. Widow's Cry's ass is wet and muddy. So Widow's Cry is curled up under the wagon. Abby, if you would like to try and convince Vigdis of how much time there is left in the night, I will let you make an intellect test versus his.
I rolled a 13.
So yeah,
I'm rolling like 9 and 10 right now.
So yeah, basically you calm him down and say, as far as you can tell, with your everything that you have learned, if you guys can hold on for about 2 more hours, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. The day's going to break and it'll be all over.
Nice.
So there's no test to see if the long waiting gets on your nerves and frazzles you. So you wait out the almost 2 hours. The light, the sun doesn't quite start coming up yet, but you get that feeling that maybe, the storm is letting up just a little bit.
Okay.
And you basically see the sky
Okay.
take on this really weird color, and you don't see rain anymore. The rain's not pouring down anymore.
Well,
but-
that's nice of it.
Instead of stars or clouds or anything like that, there is just a void. There is absolute nothingness. You have never looked into nothingness that is this nothing before.
Hmm.
Widow's Cry is asleep, so if you would like him to be aware of any of this, you will have to go wake him.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure that Widow's Cry is awake.
So they wake up, Widow's Cry. You look up and you see the sky, and you actually get the feeling you're not looking at the sky anymore. There is nothingness. When you look above the horizon, everything ends. There is nothing there. There is this deep and profound thing in your soul basically telling you that you're staring into absolute nothingness as you stare up at the sky.
Got
So,
Before creature gets to us, magic acorns.
okay. Each of you, as you're looking up at this, if you would give me a will test.
Man, I knew I should have stayed asleep.
20.
I passed the test by not knowing the test happened.
18 plus 2.
I passed. I got 16.
Okay.
I get an 8.
See,
Go. So, Widow's Cry, you take 2 points of insanity.
What's the risk of going mad? Is it just when you hit your will, or
Yeah, when you hit your will, you do something crazy for a while, and then you lose a certain number.
no?
again.
I don't. I attack everybody because I'm a battle mage, which is
Oh,
why
yeah.
I'm asking if that would be if it's just when I hit that or any time in there. So,
Yeah, I believe that until you hit that, you don't get your special berserky thing.
okay.
so what I'm hearing is that our elf needs therapy.
I
So yes, and what did Abigail get on her test?
18 plus 2,
Okay.
20.
All right. So the abject nothingness seems to affect the elf more than anything else, because apparently elves like there to be something rather than nothing.
If you get nothing, it's just a bad deal.
Suffering from existential crisis.
So
Yeah.
now you start to see like the edges when you start looking at the horizon where the nothingness met the horizon looks like it's starting to fall away. Like there is less and less of something the further you look, and it's getting closer and closer to you, as if everything is just starting to crumble and fall apart as it gets closer and closer to you.
Well, looks like that somebody cast the troll spell.
They
Yeah.
look like such big, strong hands.
So when you get to the final bit of this, like this is rolling towards you, is anyone going to try and do anything as this is happening? Because it's happening rather quickly. The longer you look at the horizon, the more it crumbles and everything just falls away into this nothingness.
If we look away and then look back, what happens?
It's even closer.
So Vegas will stand in front of Widow's Cry and Abby, kind of ready as shield.
All right.
Widow's Cry is curious about the world beyond his home and seeking new experiences. So, yep, he's just gonna stand there. Possibly with some birds chirping on his shoulders, unless they're smart enough to run away.
Sacrifice bewitch or not bewitch. Sacrifice ecstasy, and sit on the broom.
That was
I guess.
yeah.
I guess another zero level to bind my weapon back to me again, just in case.
gonna sacrifice the witch. Wait, you are the witch.
Thanks.
All right. So, what is going to happen here as the wave of nothingness washes over you? each one of you give me a will test to see how well you basically you're fighting to keep yourself as something.
Boom.
I made it.
Hey,
Super willful.
I rolled a 20, which means I have a 19.
I rolled a 13, which means I got a 15.
Yeah. So all of you are absolutely certain that you exist as the nothingness washes over you.
Well, I'm an elf.
We save against ennui.
Nothing,
Awesome.
nothing can
Essentially,
make
yes.
convince that I don't exist. I'm immortal.
So the nothingness washes over you. So you look around and you're standing on this little chunk of rock hovering in the abject nothingness. And
Victus mentions that
It's a never-ending story.
yeah, so we've sailed to the end of the to the land beyond the horizon.
yes,
Cry starts trying to figure out how he can take out his companions so he'll be chosen as the Herald of Galactus.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you do not already have something that you can fly on.
God. Abby is the herald.
Yes, I do. Point to the rock below his feet. That is clearly flying.
So the nothingness rolls past you, and eventually, like everything is void except this rock you are standing on and the people that are with you. Is there anything
Mamu, I have come
you
to
are
bargain.
planning on doing at this point?
Where is the rest of our reality?
You don't know. Are you going to step off the rock?
Is there anything else on our little strip of land here right now? Something we can kick off the rock, maybe? See
There
what happens.
you might be able to, grab a chunk of earth and throw it off.
Well,
Sure.
that's yeah.
Okay, so you grab a piece of stone from the rock that you're standing on and toss it off into the void. Vigdis, since you're doing this, give me an intellect test.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Nope. 8.
So Vigdis, what you see is when you throw it out into the void, as soon as it gets more than a decent throw away, it just starts to erode like everything else. Now the other two of you, when you see this, would you like to make an intellect test?
Sure.
Yes.
I would like to apply my 850 years to this intellect test because the Earth has neither the fairy realm nor the mortal realm has ever vanished on me in 850 years.
Yeah. And magic would be applying this?
Yeah.
For sure?
Yeah.
Is that a yes on the boon from being old and this never happened before?
Yes. I will give you a boon for having existed for 800 years.
26 total.
All right.
Wow.
What did Abby get?
Not 26. I only got an 11.
So Abby, what you were starting to think, you were trying to use the magical logic thing and try and follow what literally just happened. And so at first, when you're looking at this, you're going, well, of course, this ground is solid because all of us are certain that we still exist. So we have to have a place to stand. So that's what made this ground solid. And since no one was holding that rock, after a certain point, it stopped existing. But then you start thinking, yeah, maybe not. Maybe I'm overthinking this. And then Widow's Cry, what you're thinking is, this is a vision. You're fairly certain this is a vision. It's not just like a dream or anything. This is an actual possible future occurrence. It's not all made up, but it's also not happening currently. This is more of like a temporal being shifted into the future and seeing what would happen than it is just like a dreamy vision type thing.
Widow's Cry will step off the rock.
So Vigdis, since you failed that test,
Yep.
The Widow's Cry step off the rock, and like as soon as he gets off the rock, you see him like rapidly decay into like bones, and then the bones wither up and turn to powder, and then everything about Widow's Cry is gone.
Ah, sorcery.
Give me a will test.
Yeah. Yeah, 15.
All right. So yeah, you're certain that Widow's Cry just committed suicide and ceased to exist, but you didn't take any insanity from watching that happen.
Nice.
It is the elf.
That rodeo.
So, Abby, you didn't quite get the whole that this is like some sort of temporal shift and seeing the future, but you do know that there's something more going on than that you're literally in a void. You rolled high enough that you understand magically this isn't, there's something not what it appears about this situation.
Yeah.
And you also saw the elf just step off there, and you're pretty sure he didn't cease to exist. So what would you like to do?
I'm gonna land my broom.
Okay.
I'm gonna calmly look at Vigdis, and I'm gonna go, I think the elf was right. I think this is a trick. And I think we need to step off the rock.
Vigdis totally trusts Abby. So he won't look scared in front of her, so he'll say, we just step off then?
I think so.
He lowers his voice a little bit and says, can I close my eyes?
Yeah, because I'm gonna close mine.
Okay. He sheathes his bastard sword and he puts his hand out for her to take his.
Yeah.
And then I guess he'll just like prop her up on one arm because you're effectively a child size. So he'll prop you up and then take a deep breath and step off the rock.
I'm picturing a very like 70s fantasy poster there with Vigdis holding this woman.
Yeah, this belongs airbrushed on the side of a white panel van for sure.
So, Abby, since you made your test, if you just want to step off, there's not going to be any problem with you stepping off. Vigdis, Abby reassured you, so you'll get a boon on this, but you do need to make another will test as you step off of this.
What? Which one? I haven't failed any will tests.
No, but you didn't
Perception check.
figure out the nature of reality when you threw the rock.
Oh, was that a perception check though?
It wasn't really a perception test. It was more like just figuring out what happened.
Okay.
But you
Then
didn't
let's
get
see.
that boon from me, so
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. 10.
All right. So one way or the other, if you stepped off, you were going to pass the test. It was just whether or not you took any sanity damage as you started thinking that you were ceasing to exist before.
Yeah.
So all of you wake back up in the camp. It's morning. The rain has stopped. It's a beautiful morning on the banks of the lake. You hear the birds chirping, and you see the fish on the shore that clawed themselves to death laying there that would make a great breakfast. And
Hey, Jared.
yes.
So, if this was a vision of a possible future, and in that future, Widow's Cry stepped off the rock and ceased to exist, does that count as a fey creature dying?
Sure. You have witnessed the possibility of you dying in the future.
So, when they come out, Widow's Cry is started like he was gold. Now it's it looks like there's black creeping up through all of his limbs, and the birds on his shoulders are ravens. Sorry, setting up for his
Yes.
master path.
So all of you are standing here. What you do notice when you get back to the camp, it stopped raining. It's still kind of muddy out here, but it's a beautiful morning. But you don't see Kane, and you obviously haven't seen Fringe around, so you're not sure what happened there. And a deer like prances through your camp, and then a big guy with And Vigdis, you haven't seen this guy yet, but basically he looks like just a really big guy, but he's got hair all over him. You know, like almost like I can't remember the name of it now. Steve said it earlier, but basically like when people have the disease where they literally just have the hair like growing off of them. It's not fur. It's like he's just literally got hair growing all over him.
Oh, the hypertrichosis.
Yeah. And he's wearing like battered leathers, and he walks out here, and he's got gray streak through this hair in places, and he goes, "You all did absolutely wonderful there. That's really, really impressive. Didn't they, dear?" And the deer stops and nods its head.
His pet name for her is Deer. That's great.
So he looks at all of you and goes, "You've earned the right to ask your question about the deepest secrets of the universe, but since you did such a wonderful job doing this, I need to ask something." And he turns and he looks at all of you and he goes, "The position that I have as the stranger is a position. It's something that people change after a while, and eventually someone just kind of loses their marble and no longer has the will to do it. And what I would like is, if one of you would promise that you would take this position when I die, I could give that person an extra glimpse into the mysteries of reality."
Widow's Cry will look up from examining the black that's crawling up his body and the crows on his shoulders and say, "It appears as though I've already accepted a position."
Does the position require you to be mortal, though?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I think Widow's Cry may not have even been eligible.
Because, I mean, that would... I can imagine Fringe would be jumping for joy, because Fringe would be going, "Does that mean I get a hut?" So I can imagine Fringe saying it yes immediately. I can imagine Kane saying no. That would leave Abby and or Vigdis as the possible yeses.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, not it.
You're not planning on dying within the near future, are you, Mr. Stranger?
Well, no, and of course, if the entire world ends, then nobody will have this position anymore at all. So, there's that.
There is that. I'm not particularly enthralled with taking the position of stranger. But if it means horrible things do not happen and people who shouldn't have bad knowledge.
What are the consequences if one of us don't take it?
Well, you're bound to the lake, and basically you live as long as you still have a will to live.
So if none of us, what I mean is if one of us does not take the position, what are the consequences there?
Basically, each of you is going to get to ask a question, whatever the question is, and you'll get it answered. If someone takes this position, they get to ask 3 questions.
Abby will take the position.
Ooh.
So whenever this current stranger loses his will to live or gets killed by something,
I hit him.
Abby will be bound to the lake. Now, the lake's pretty big, so you got a lot of area to range. But yes, then you will administer the test for anyone coming here seeking knowledge.
When Abby becomes the stranger, is she able to learn all that information then? Like whatever she needs?
She could. She doesn't know it automatically, though. And you'll see in a second.
Is she restricted to the same kind of like 3-question dealie that everyone else is? Or 1 question? So I'm thinking of Quickie Mart now.
Well, see, the problem is if she becomes a stranger, she can't necessarily reveal what she can learn to anyone unless they go through the trial.
Okay, so I thought.
We've already passed the trial, so she should be able to tell us anything.
Yeah, but she'd be a new stranger, so then she would have to administer a new test.
Oh, but at least you guys would know what the test is.
She gave you the answers.
Yeah. Nice. A crib sheet for destiny.
So basically, you'll be bound to the lake. You would roll for a random mutation to see what happens to you as you evolve your current form.
Yay!
So Abby won't necessarily grow lots of extra hair like this guy. She'll just have something happen to her.
Mm-hmm.
So he extends his hand. He says, "So a pact is made, correct?"
As much as I dislike this idea, yes.
Well, if you don't like this, if that's not what you see as your weird, I think that Vigdis might accept it as like, well, he's been trying to figure out what his weird is anyway, and if this won't actually make you happy, then he may take it on himself. I mean, it doesn't sound like it need to be a spellcaster type to do this. And he's a pretty dogmatic thinker anyway, so if it's not something, yeah, like
You get to hang out at the lake and administer tests.
I think he's thinking about. I mean, his mindset's been about this whole like weird is the Jotun concept of like, you know, fate or destiny or whatever, or karma. So I think maybe he's like, as he's hearing people talk about it and hearing the reluctance in Abby's voice, he doesn't want to see something. You know, she was in a position before where she wasn't. She didn't have agency with her life, and her exploring her witchhood seems to be an opportunity for her to do that, to finally have some agency. And Vigdis has spent life as a thrall. He doesn't want to see her trade one, you know, set of chains for another. So he'll do it for her.
Nice.
If someone needs to do it, then I think that he wouldn't want to see, unless Abby really wants it, he'll take that burden for her. Like, I'll leave it in your hands, but he's going to make that offer for her. This is one of his like rare lucid moments. But I just don't think that
an impressive stranger.
Recognizing what his whole thing of going into Scald that sort of fits with that, you know, not the poetry stuff necessarily, but the with like, you know, like learning stories and knowledge and whatever else too. Maybe that it explains why he's going to go into Scald the next level, is that he is taking that first step towards a wider knowledge. I don't want to steal Abby's thunder though. Like, I mean, like narratively, if Abby wants this, or if you want this for Abby, that's totally cool. Just if it is something that she's taking on begrudgingly, I think Vigdis will be more than happy to take that hit for her.
And that's the thing, is that even if Abby took that on, she would want Vigdis there. It's a weird
yeah.
Because it's a very strange, fun relationship to explore.
Yeah.
In the game is those two.
What about what is the role of the deer then? Like, is this a binary kind of role?
No, he just randomly married a deer, and now she's
married the deer. All right,
who knows how that happened, but he's not part of the position.
Yeah, I mean, whichever. If Abby, even if Abby chooses to take it herself, I think Vigdis will be happy to. I mean, this fits with his whole Ranger Scald thing anyway. He could be the like effectively the herald for the stranger then, and maybe we can make it into a more positive role than this, than it has been.
Well, that would work. Although the imposing nature of Vigdis. You see where I'm going though.
Yeah.
Is the imposing nature of Vigdis would be a lot of fun to put him in the role of stranger.
Sure.
Just be like, put him there, and then Abby is the one who introduces the stranger.
Yeah.
And Abby's the herald and goes, "You're here to take the tests, and I will warn you, you're all going to die. You have until nightfall to leave." And then and then Vigdis shows up and says, "Good evening."
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this.
Yeah, I love that. Well, that fits too, because I mean, like that way, Abby can live a full, normal, whatever else life, and then I'm sure she'll pass on what she knows to, to successors as well.
Yeah.
So if we can sort of picture there's this like a persistent, assuming we don't destroy the world, there would be a coven of generations of witches that would follow in that path. I love that.
And then the coven is actually the coven that that basically is around the stranger that actually helps with that process.
You know what we call it is the Coven of the Broken Chain.
There we go.
So
and then Vigdis becomes the stranger.
Yeah, done. Vigdis will take that on. I love that.
So the stranger cuts his palm, and he goes to shake your hand, which the implication being that you would cut your hand. And
yep, it's not the first time that Jotun's or that Vigdis has been to that kind of rodeo. So yeah, he knows exactly what's expected. Bashes his sword out, cuts it, clasps his hand, and accepts it.
So you feel this slight tingling when this happens. You don't feel like this big onrush because it's just the pact is sealed, but it hasn't done anything to you yet. But you are bound by it now. So awesome. You do this, and I am going to say, first off, Vigdis and Abigail, you both get fortune back because that was excellent role playing to go through that entire thought process. Widow's Cry, I'm going to give you some too. You're going to get fortune just because I like the setup for your next thing as you come out there and the reasoning of seeing your own death being the harbinger of death there.
Oh, he's going to have words with the stranger.
Oh, wait, which one?
Oh, no, it's the one who killed him.
Not Vigdis. Oh, wait.
So the stranger says, "Just a minute, I'll be back with your answers." And he disappears for a while, and he comes out with this cauldron. And the cauldron has this hot fluid, and there's steam rising up out of it, and it's almost like there's this oily, greasy layer on top, but there's very vibrant multiple colors hanging on the top of it as well.
Who doesn't love some good gasoline stew?
So, all you need to do to get your answers is firmly concentrate on the questions you want to ask, and then take a drink out of this. And then you'll see your answers.
Okay. I foresee some more will
Abby
challenges.
Or not Abby, Vigdis gets to drink out of this 3 times.
I can drink it 3 times?
Yes, because you took on the now you can ask someone else what you should ask it before you drink it.
Yeah.
So who would like to drink first, and what is your question?
So let's think this through before we start gulping this stuff back.
All right.
And can we assume that Kane gets a question as well?
No, he disappeared. Actually, Kane is the answer to what would have happened had Widow's Cry stayed asleep. He disappeared outside of the bounds of the test.
Oh, okay.
And he just doesn't get to ask his question.
He chose poorly.
Well, I mean, he didn't question whether he exists. So I mean,
Okay.
All right. So number 1, we know the troll spell is part of what we're doing. Is there another means of what is the other way of protecting us from the troll spell?
You mean besides
giving all of the power to Diabolus, or is there a way to redirect it more constructively?
Yeah, my first question I got written down is what can be done to undo the troll spell? That presupposes that there is a way of undoing the troll spell, but I think if they say nothing, then we've got an answer that we can't undo it.
Okay. Would you like to take a drink?
Yeah, I'll take a drink and see if that gives me any results.
So, Vigdis, when you take this drink, there isn't any long-term bad effects, but you get the feeling that it would be bad if you asked a whole lot of questions day after day, because it gets extremely trippy as you drink this. Like, your consciousness falls away from you, and you are floating above reality to peer at the absolute truths of the universe.
Mm.
So basically, you are cosmically tripping balls at the moment as you have this question, focused in your mind. And the simple question was, is there anything else we can do to stop the troll spell? What you actually see is you see this ancient troll floating on one of these rocks in the void.
Mm-hmm.
And you see little holes, and you may not know this, but your spellcasting people will know this. There are places where there's a thin veil where the void is already kind of seeping in, and that's kind of natural in reality. And through each of these holes into reality, energy is coming out, and there's this tablet of runes in front of this ancient troll in the void. And every once in a while, through one of these things, power comes through and it lights up some of the runes, and power comes through another one and lights up some of the runes. So what you know now is the troll spell isn't just a spell that is out there. There appears to be a troll with an object that the spell is focused on that is gathering this together, and he is in the void somewhere. So you get the feeling if you could either destroy the tablet or maybe kill that troll, that might also end the troll spell, but you also know that he is in the void.
Okay.
So
I know what my next question will be then.
You come back down out of your high. Do you want to share this with anyone before anyone does another question?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can assume that I'll share whatever information I gather from it as best as I can describe it. So what I think my next question, if you guys have a question you want to go with, go nuts. But I've got, I think, my next one lined up as well.
What's the next question you want to ask?
How do we get to the troll?
To that troll?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Anyone else have any questions that you want to ask before he does that?
Nope.
Okay. So once again, gulpy gulpy.
All right. So you gulp this down again, and you feel even more lightheaded this time around, and you're starting to think, wow, I mean, this is really deep. I could just drink this a lot. You zoom back away from reality, and what you are seeing now is there is an underground passage in the borderlands of Terra. They are it's over towards the woods in the wilds where you were at with the witches. And if you go into this underground complex, there is a gateway there to the underworld. And in the underworld, there is a hole that drops off into the void.
Okay.
And that hole is one of the gaps that leads to the rock that the troll is standing on.
That's going to be a long trip. We're going to have to spend months looking for a hut.
So that is 2 of Vigdis's questions and none of anyone else's yet. So I assume Vigdis comes out and explains that.
Yeah. Okay, so on a metagame level, the things I'm curious of is whether we need to kill this guy, and if so, how we go about doing that.
If we destroy the tablet, do we destroy reality?
Yeah, good question.
Oh, wow. I totally thought you meant the stranger. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of working on that same wavelength. I was not.
So yeah, I'm not sure we need to. So, and Jared, the energy that you were describing that was coming through those holes, was it coming from outside the void into?
Yes, it's coming from reality to him.
Okay.
So I don't know that Vigdis would get this, but since Vigdis described this to the more magically inclined in the party, knowing what you know about the troll spell, this is like every time there is like strife and upheaval where society starts to fall apart, it's generating that energy and it's seeping through those holes into
the tablet.
Here to the tablet.
Hmm. So another thing that would be interesting to know is whether we can control the tablet.
Can the tablet release its energy without destroying reality?
Yeah, I guess we know already that it can be repurposed to go to Diabolus, right?
It can.
So that may be a wasted question. So we know that spell can be.
And the elf that Widow's Cry talked to is pretty sure that he's got that ritual going. It's just a matter of needing people to do the things that needed to be done to perform the ritual.
Oh, nobody else knows that he told the elf to go and do that. He just gave them the book.
But yeah, that elf is pretty sure that, you know, it's as long as whoever survives what needs to be done to do that ritual set up and it'll redirect things to Diabolus and everything will be fine. He's just got to do the footwork of writing up all the little equations and figuring out where to send people to do things.
I say we just, if we can destroy the tablet without destroying reality, then we destroy the tablet.
I'm wondering if we need to. So I'm wondering if we need to kill the troll guy, or if we can. Where we can talk to him. So I imagine this is metagaming again, but we know about the context of the war between the Fae and the troll, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the whole reason they're doing this is because screw you elves, we'll destroy reality to win.
Yeah.
As an elf, yes, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, what do you existential equivalent of flipping the table and going home?
Yes.
Okay. And I think unless you guys want to ask a question, I think I'll ask a last one here. So I'll get with the drinky, and then I am keeping in my mind the question of I'm trying to phrase this properly here. What must be done to prevent the troll, and I mean the troll, like the one that I saw is what I've got in my mind, from completing his plan?
Okay, so you take another drink and you zoom out of reality again, and you're pretty.
At this point, he's screaming, "Woo!"
So you zip out into this disembodied state again, and you see the answers to your questions coalesce here. And what you know is the troll is super ancient. Like, this goes back to the war between the trolls and the elves, which predates modern civilization by a lot of time. He is only still alive because he is bound to the tablet. One way or the other, he is bound to the tablet is bound to him. So if you destroy the tablet, he dies. If you kill him, the tablet is destroyed. Yeah, I think for the question you asked, that's about.
The question was, what must be done to.
Okay. So the troll spell will not happen if he is killed or if the tablet is destroyed.
Does separating, this is a follow-up question, I realize, but I think it's implicit in the original one. Would separating the two be sufficient, or does one of those things need to be destroyed?
It's separating them would basically delay it but
Okay.
the impending threat is still looming out there.
Okay. So then, yeah. So like the only way to prevent this then is to destroy one or the other one. Okay. So my suggestion, guys, for a follow-up question is which of the two should be destroyed?
So Victus, now that you
rephrase it differently, which of the two is most easily destroyed?
Mhm.
So, Vigdis, this probably won't have any bearing, but I just want to know this because it's good for flavor. Give me a strength challenge roll with 3 Banes now after having.
Sure. Oh fuck. Well, I rolled a 1, but I got a +5 to my strength, so I failed.
So Vigdis, right now you are impaired and poisoned both. Like you are.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Poisoned, like you're going to die from it. It's just like you're taking 2 Banes on everything, and you're kind of worthless at the moment. Like
I'm all out of healing, Vigdis. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. This is the reason why you guys keep Vigdis away from booze.
So now the other two of you that have questions, what would you like to do?
Go ahead, Ryan.
Widow's Cry will go and drink, I guess. And the question that he goes in with is,
can I make a suggestion for
use?
For one thing? Sorry. So what I'm thinking is, the phrasing I'm thinking of is, what method would most easily destroy one of the two beings, the tablets or the troll? So I think that's a way of shortcutting through to what's our easiest way. Like if the tablets are, it sounds like we can destroy one or the other one, but if one of them is just a lot fucking harder to destroy, it'd be good to know what the easiest way to do that would be.
Is this a thing where you have to voice it, or you just?
No, you just have the question in your mind.
The question that's in his mind is, how do I redirect the ritual to, instead of giving Diabolus the power, to give me the power, so I can avenge the death of every fairy? Because I suddenly have a position.
So what you are seeing now is you can see that if you kill the troll, there is a moment where if you perform the proper ritual, you could keep the tablet from being destroyed, and you would bind yourself to the tablet, but you would be kind of standing there in the void doing this. You wouldn't necessarily have to direct the thing just to rip open portals to the void, however, and then you would be bound to the tablet. So you generally have the idea of what it would take to perform the ritual once you kill the troll to bind yourself to that tablet before the tablet goes kaboom.
Does the other ritual require killing the troll?
What, the one to redirect it to Diabolus?
Yes.
Oh, no. No, because this is in true Diabolus fashion. The point of that ritual is to let the troll think that it's going exactly the way it's supposed to until it redirects where he wants it to.
Right. Well, that was kind of like he actually. I mean, I guess that's an answer to his question. He was kind of wondering if there's a way to redirect that one, but I guess having Diabolus pissed at you is probably a bad idea. So, excellent.
Oh dear. The elf is going to kill us all.
Oh, no.
He would be a benevolent overlord.
When he's talking, you hear grief and hatred in his voice.
Yes, grief and hatred. Yes, that's a great benevolent overlord voice. Right.
Did you have you killed a member of the Fae? Then you have nothing to fear.
I think we've saved a member of the Fae, if I remember correctly.
Then you're good.
I even tried to heal one. Generally try to be a nice person.
So Abby? What is
think,
your question?
uh,
Ask what Vigdis proposed?
yeah, I was going to go along those lines, and make sure that the energies release wouldn't rip reality apart.
Okay.
Hmm.
So you go in there and you're like, which one is the easier one to destroy? And you try and do the and writer.
Yeah. Like trying to make sure which one's going to destroy and make sure that in doing so it doesn't rip reality apart.
Conjunctions are a perfectly accepted form of language.
So Abby's question sounds like one of those grad student questions who's trying to impress the visiting professor that goes on for 8 minutes.
Yes.
So
I've got to cover all the. I'm trying to cover the angles in one question.
yeah, and I was gonna say the funny thing is Widow's Cry. You felt that whole trippy zoomed out thing, but it didn't affect you near as much as it did Vigdis, because there's just something about the nature of being an 800-year-old elf bent on trying to destroy the entire troll race and getting vengeance on anyone that's ever killed a fairy that made you a little bit more focused when you went in there. So it was less of a fun. Happy fun time for you.
I don't think fun is going to enter back into Widow's Cry's life anytime soon.
So, so Abby, you feel that kind of disembodied, like euphoric rush as you zip out of your body and hover above reality. You see the troll that is standing there in the void next to the tablet, and then you see the troll back in his heyday. And you see that he is like etched runes into his hide, and his gigantic spear has runes all over it. And you get the feeling that were you to try and attack the tablet gets more reinforced the closer the spell gets.
Okay.
So 2 things happen when you attack the tablet. It is harder to destroy the closer it is to the spell going off, and also it leaks energy when you attack it directly. So you can destroy the tablet, but you could easily destroy yourselves in the process of trying to destroy the tablet before getting the job done.
Got it.
On the other hand, the troll will not be easy to kill because this is an ancient, war leader troll that has invested ancient spells in himself to make him harder to kill, and he obviously has an ensorcelled weapon. He's not going to be easy to kill, so it won't just be a matter of, hey, we're really awesome and we can kill him. But he is killable if you can get past whatever defenses he has set up with those spells.
So yeah, troll, not tablet. And I will share that we have a very ensorcelled defensed troll, but if we attack the tablet, reality goes boom. That's my interpretation. So, does that make sense?
Yeah, that seems to jive with what you asked.
So,
Widow's Cry will smile. It is not a pleasant smile.
yeah, well, Widow's Cry smiles generally are a little terrifying. So, the other question I have for the stranger that has nothing to do with any of the tests. What happened to all of our food?
Oh, what happened to your food? I mean, what happened to it? What are you asking?
It went rancid right when we got here.
Oh yeah, that's happening. Every once in a while, there's just kind of this wave of bad mojo that washes over the land, and it's kind of making things rot and go corrupt and terrible. It's really bad because I had some milk the other day, and yeah, I won't get into it, but yeah.
How often is that happening around here?
More often than it used to. Maybe like every couple of weeks now. Somebody will probably see something like that happening. I mean, I don't eat meat anymore because, it kind of upsets the wife. Love you, dear. man.
Uh,
But yeah, it's really hard to to keep the milk and the cheese from going bad.
That's noted. And we're out in the wilderness here, so we're far away from civilization. Got it.
So
It's still edible.
yeah, Widow's Cry is fine.
To an elf.
Fringe can eat it too.
It's true.
And Fringe is insane.
I'm not going to refute this. So, actually, what I'm going to do at this point, we are going to assume, since this is the end of a tier, you're going to be able to get back home. I'm not going to make you guys worry about that. You guys can level up your characters for the next tier. We are going to, things will happen. We're going to do another year forward jump. And essentially what's going to happen is the campaign and the province and everything that's happening there is going to develop based on what you guys followed up on and what you guys didn't follow up on. So, which is also why I want to take the next week off, so I have a time to look into everything that you didn't follow up on and make a few assumptions on how things are going to look at that point. And then in 2 weeks, hopefully, if we don't have any scheduling issues, we'll jump back in and we'll announce to everyone that happens to watch this exactly what happened in that time gap. I will clue you guys in before that so that you guys can, make a few decisions on that. We'll do the downtime rolls, and I will let you know what the province of Tyr looks like, and we'll start figuring out what's going on. But in general, I would say it looks like while you're not dissuading the elf from doing what he's doing, of course, most of you don't know what he's doing, that killing the troll is not something anyone's going to really object to in the party.
Nope.
Not really. This actually is probably the safest option.
Going into the devil-haunted woods to find a passage into the underworld, traveling through the underworld to find a passage into the void, and killing an ancient troll is the safest option.
Yes. The other option means we have to give whatever the devil wants, the devils do. Yes, we're going to give the most ancient evil whatever he wants. Yeah, that's what we want to do.
I just love the fact though that is what turned out to sound like the safest option.
Beware of okay, Planescape guy here. Beware of fiends bearing gifts.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, and you guys, especially with the elf and your magic-y people, you would understand when I say underworld, I mean you're going to the place where souls go to lose all of their previous anything in life, and then finding a trip into the void, which is the absolute nothingness between realities from there. Not underworld as in this is just more underground. It's literally another plane of existence where the dead go to lose all of their former memories of the past life.
Yeah.
Hi, we're going to Hades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the dry cleaner of souls.
Yes, the dry cleaner of souls.
You get the process for me, really? It's
well, if there's really tough stains, they have to go to hell to get them removed.
yeah, exactly.
That's wow.
It is cool. That was a really, really great session, Jared. Thanks so much for running that.
Thank you guys for playing. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys all enjoyed yourself. I feel bad in case anybody was wondering. Jason's not feeling well, and it kind of hit him halfway through the session, so that's what happened there. So hopefully he's going to be feeling better soon, and I feel bad that he missed out on the rest of this, but I did want to keep going since we started it. Thank you guys all for playing. You guys did some really neat background stuff for the characters. I really liked how some of that stuff is kind of developing there too. I hope you guys all had a good time. I hope anybody that's watching this had a good time. Hopefully, if the schedule keeps up, in 2 weeks we will start our master tier and start moving towards the end game of the campaign, which I'm really kind of excited about.
We're in the home stretch now. 4 sessions.
Indeed. So thank you all for playing. What's
By
that?
the time we get back to the town, Widow's Cry is made of black twisted branches with a thorny bramble crowns. He gives off the aura of being like a very short gallows tree, and there may appear to be ropes and the like. And he has two crews on his shoulders at all times that do what he tells them to.
That is awesome.
Put that out there.
Awesome.
Oh
nice.
dear.
That's a great like season 2 ender.
It is.
Because he is now a Morrigan.
Yeah.
Oh
Cool.
dear.
All right. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody that's watching this either now or in the future. And I'm going to end the broadcast now, but thanks, everybody. And I'm looking forward to the next session. See y'all later.
Thank you.
Couple weeks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.